Here. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Nope. Hello. Oh, nope. Okay, I figured it out. My bad. Figured it out. All right, I'm late. Sorry. All right, sorry. I had the most trying day today. Y'all would not believe. I had the most absolutely trying day. So trying that I just don't even feel like going. We're supposed to go away for the weekend. I don't feel like going. Like I'm just all just I'm in a pissy mood right now. But warning, warning. Before I start this, if you are a Christian, if you are religious, if you believe in the King James version of the Bible, this stream is not for you. Please log off, exit, go somewhere else. Okay. If you are a Christian, if you are religious, if you hold tight to the King James version of the Bible and my t shirt offends you, please, I implore you to log off. Please find somebody else to watch. I would hate for you silly mouth breathing Negroes to have to watch me worship the devil. Please don't watch me worship the devil from the clouds. Oh my God. I'm just going to. Okay. I'm going to take the homie C Over's advice and we're just going to do us and we're going to just go to a pivot to a whole different audience. I've played in the mud long enough with these Negroes. I'm so beyond it at this point. So once again, if you fall into one of three categories, religious, Christian, or you believe in the King James version of the Bible, please don't watch me. I beg you. Don't even hate watch me. Everything I have to speak on tonight goes against everything you deem holy. Okay? If you're one of these guys that believes in taking vows before God for marriage, please log off. Please don't watch me. There's nothing here for you to learn. I have nothing here for you. Okay? Now, with that being said, let me acknowledge everybody in the chat. Happy Friday. I hope y'all's Friday was way better than mine because I had a shitty, and I mean a shit. Wait a minute. My my Fridays has been so shitty. That ain't fucking logic. God damn it. Every week was stupid. That's stupid. Okay? That's the kind of Friday I'm having right now. Okay? I'm having one of these. That ain't fucking logic. God damn it. Every week was stupid. Okay? Stupid. Okay? Stupid. I'm having one of these Fridays and nothing can change it or fix it. So, man of tomorrow, what's happening, big dog? Shout out to man of tomorrow. Hey. Okay. Yes, let me get to worshiping my Lord and Savior. Well, the first things first, I would tell people that if anybody, I would worship myself first. Right? So let's take it back a bit. When Kanye was like, I want to thank myself when he won the award, people got offended. You should thank yourself. Who the hell got you up? See, this is where me and Christian folk, we go left. We diverge. So if you wake up in the morning and you're the type of person that gives honor and praise to whoever that woke you up this morning, cool. I'm the type of person that says, no, I woke myself up this morning. I got my ass up out of bed. I went to the gym. I had to motivate myself to go to the gym, and I had to motivate myself to be productive. That's where me and a lot of these people, we just split. Okay. Once again, I'm not here to excoriate anybody. If you believe a higher power woke you up this morning, fine. I believe I woke myself up when I accomplished things. Right? Some people will be like, I want to give praise to the Most High and all. That's great. I like to thank my damn self because I put in the work. Right? Oh, what the fuck she want? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Yeah. Nope. Yep. Food. Nuggets. All right. Okay. So yeah, when I do something well, when I accomplish something, I thank myself because I had to put in the work. Why would I diminish my accomplishment by giving credit to something or somebody else? No, I had the self motivation, the self drive, the self wherewithal. I had a goal I set out. Me, I did that. Me, right? Remember, oh, and this is where and whatever you say about Rick Ross, fine. But one thing I give Rick Ross credit for is self worship. When everybody was running around here with the Jesus pieces, and once again, no diss to Jesus pieces, none of that. Or you had the Fukuyama, the Miriyami pieces. Rick Ross was the only person that I can recall, the only rapper at the time that actually had a self modeled image piece of himself. That was dope, right? If you believe Jesus is actually Caesar Borgia, the son of Caesar Borgia, why would you put that on yourself to worship something else? Why would you not worship yourself? Why do you not give yourself the credit? See, this is where I guess self worship. I guess that's a bad thing. What does that fall under? Vanity. Self-adulation. I guess that's a bad thing in the Bible. If you're a KJV person of the Bible, hey, whatever works for you. I put in the work. I did that. I did that. Okay. That's not to discredit anybody that helped along the way, or that's not to discredit anybody that kind of put things in place for me to achieve my goal. But at the end of the day, you can have everything can be lined up for me. If I don't take the steps necessary to do it and to achieve it, it's all for naught. Yes. So yes, I did that. I thank myself. I thank myself. Okay. Yes. Matter of fact, let's do it again. That ain't fucking logic. God damn it. God damn you people stupid. Okay. You stupid. Okay. Just stupid. This is the kind of day I'm having. And once again, I want to take I give honors and praise to homie George Sims. We had a powerful, powerful conversation a couple of days ago. Um, I'm so excited for what he has coming up for you guys. Listen, you know what? I'm not gonna toot his horn because he's listen. Mount Vernon and all those guys back in the shot. This is George. George comes from that class, right? And I can't sing his praises enough. Like I said, I'm so excited what he has to offer the world in TV and film. And I hope y'all can go into pre-production soon, ASAP. So shout out to George Sims. Once again, just more confirmation when I talk to these brothers, these accomplished men, and for them to, just say, hey, Sly, we rock with you. I'm like, cool. Because I know I'll be going off the rails sometimes. I know I go left. I know Nick be like, God damn it. Truth be like this, nigga. So shout out to all you guys. Salam Hall, George, Nick, Truth, keep it techie. Will call me to check on me from time to time. So I will never let you niggas' opinions about me bother me. You guys are beneath me, right? If you if you have nothing nice to say nothing at all. I will never let the opinions of I just you guys are those guys are beneath me. Period. Point blank. And I don't care what your opinion of me is. Yes, whatever. I drink blood and we dance around pentagrams and all that good. Yeah, all the weird shit. Yes. Yes. Whatever it takes to keep you niggas away from me. Yes. All right. So with that being said, let's get into it. I have an opinion on some things. I want to share my opinions with y'all. You know what I'm saying? What? We need some dog. You know what? I got some for you. I'm glad you said that. Before we get into the devil worshiping part of the show, you know, yeah, Taylor, is it Taylor, Tennessee? Taylor, Mississippi. Taylor, Mississippi. There's some weird shit going on in Taylor, Mississippi. Okay. Hey, shout out to ARC. Long live ARC. That ain't fucking logic. God damn it. God damn you people stupid. Okay. You stupid. Okay. Just stupid. Long live ARC. Hey man, shout out to hey, listen, when George gives me the green light to run my mouth about it, trust me, it's coming. I got George, whatever you need, bro. Just text me, be like, do it. And I'll be like, done. It's nothing. It's nothing. I'm just happy for you, man. Happy for you and the team. So yeah. All right. Let's get somebody said dog man. Okay. AM1, bless you, brother. Another man of prestige that I'm honored to know. AM1 has the patience of whatever saint lady that died. No, AM1 has the patience of Mother Teresa because he be trying to get these men to understand how crazy they sound, and they don't. They just some of y'all are on the spectrum. Okay, some of these niggas are on the spectrum. I don't give a damn what y'all talking about. Some of these guys on the spectrum, but okay, something's going on in Taylor, Mississippi. I don't. It's not much, but certain code words they keep using. Where is it at? Okay. Somebody said, "Dog man," and I got you, bruh. just so happens I was looking that shit up last night. I'm like, yeah. Where's that? Wait. Facebook. Hopefully it doesn't. Okay. Terror in Taylor, Mississippi. Y'all be careful out here. Please don't think these creatures are not real. Okay? There are things out here that will just got back watching went to go see Alien Romulus. Oh my God. Holy cow. Holy cow. That was good. Alien Romulus, good. I hate that they inserted the whole chimera human hybrid engineer thing. I think Ridley Scott did that to kind of keep his shit connected with the with Alien Covenant and Alien Prometheus. I don't care for that storyline. I don't care for the engineers. Just give us aliens, man. And we needed more aliens. I don't know. I mean, I was happy with it. It was cool to see Big Chap come back. Okay, Big Chap. I'm going on a tangent. Please forgive me. Big Chap is the original nickname for the first alien. Big Chap never died in the first Alien. So for y'all that's not caught up in the lore of aliens, Big Chap never died when Ripley blew him out the airlock and hit the boosters on him. He never died. So what these creatures can do is basically in the vacuum of space create a cocoon and hibernate. So in Romulus, they found a cocoon, the very one that Ripley fought years prior, got it onto the ship, cut it open. Big Chap goes ham, like only Big Chap knows how to, kills damn near everybody. They finally kill Big Chap, and they show Big Chap's dead body in the crucifix position. Okay, they got Big Chap strewn about in the crucifix position, all shot up and banged up and shit. Alien Romulus. It was good. It was good. It was good. It was good. Uh-oh. Nah, I don't even want 1 million subs, bro. To be honest with you, I don't even I don't want to like that. No spoiler. Come on, man. Y'all just all right. No more Alien Romulus. It was good. Go see it. I liked it. Jay, did you go see it yet? I'm waiting for your review on Alien Romulus. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I just didn't care for the third act. Everyone's like, the whole third act is divisive. If you're like into the lore, you're like, damn it, Ridley Scott. You know what Ridley Scott did? That's like, that was him. Not so much Fetty. But Fetty does have sexual see now I'm going left. Okay. So a lot of these directors, if you're wise enough and you know their kinks, they will put their kinks in their movies. Right? Everybody knows about Quentin Tarantino's kink with dirty feet. Every movie he has, the woman has her feet on a table, chair, and it's dirty for something, either lightly dirty or very dirty. That's his kink. Fetty Alvarez has a kink as well. If you watched Don't Breathe, when it's revealed how the blind man was impregnating the kidnapped women, he did. What was the other movie he did? There was also sexual kink fetish in this, and every time the face huggers would go to implant on the face. Now we understood how the face huggers impregnate the humans. It's one thing when you actually see it. It's like, oh, right. Obviously, something has to go into your mouth, down your esophagus, right? But for the way he shows it, it's like when you're watching a porn, right? And she's like, and he's like trying to force it in her mouth. That's exactly how the face hugger scenes in Alien Romulus. Like the one cousin when he fell, there's something in the wall. I forgot to tell you something in the wall. And the first one catches him on the side of the face, and you can see it trying to go in his mouth and shit. I was like, oh my fucking God. And then the Asian chick, after she got impregnated and it let go, and I mean, they pulled it off of her, and I mean, the tube on this thing was so fucking long. It was like, God damn, that was all down her throat. So a lot of sexual kink shit. All the good directors put their kinks in their movies. You just have to be a student enough to catch it. That's all. You know what I'm saying? What you want? That's all this is 100. I seen you out there to handle this business. All you bring back is 100. I'm worth more. Whatever. Yeah, okay. The Arabs definitely will pay what you're asking for. Okay. Sorry. I've had a hellacious day today. So we're behind. No, 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 no. Okay. Yeah, all she bringing back is a funky. What I'm gonna do with this? What I'm gonna do with this, y'all? $100 damn. What I'm gonna do with that? What am I gonna do with $100? I can't buy nothing with $100. Talking about here you go. What? Hey, she give you know how she give you the money like she did something like here you go, like this is it, 100. Anywho, my bad, y'all. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, Spielberg likes broken marriages. Oh. Oh. Okay, some of y'all been okay. We got some sharp people up here. Yo, Sydney Sweeney can do no wrong. Sydney Sweeney can do no wrong. Third world, what's happening, bro? What's happening? What's happening? All right, let me get on this. Snyder Kinks is. Hey, listen, man. Yeah, I rewatched director's cut. Sex scenes way too long, bro. I mean, way too long. Like it became like it was like softcore porn at that point. I'm like, come on, Zach, you could have knocked off 8 to 10 minutes off this shit. I didn't need to see the sex scenes between Scargiver, old girl, and I was like, okay, yeah, her body's on point, but okay, I get it. It was and it just it was just doing too much. Doing too much. David Kelly likes hands. Yeah, all the good directors, if you're a fan of them, you'll pick up on their kinks. And then they'll tell you in the interviews what they like and how they grew up and childhood shit. A lot of they'll put their kinks or their traumas into their movies, as any good director would, or any good storyteller, because that's kind of how you get through your trauma. And that's who wrote Euphoria? What's his name? The showrunner for Euphoria. He was a former drug addict. So the character that Zendaya plays, that's him. He's telling his story through her. She's just the actress. But he was a longtime drug addict. That was him. All the shit she did to her family in the series, he did that. So but that's what creatives do. Creatives give you a piece of themselves in the art, and it's up to you to pick it up. Pick it up. All right. Okay. There he is. What's happening, Techie? What's happening, Techie? Shout out to Techie. Okay, Mr. DJ Music. Okay. We all here. All right. My man Mojo. Shout out to my man Mojo. Go wipe that. She the coldest right now. I don't think there's anybody better than Sydney Sweeney right now, as far as young up and coming starlets. Like, she's the one. I mean, you could say Jenna Ortega, but nah, Sydney is next level. Wait. Okay, Clue. You're right, but the worst scene he's ever put into his movie is in The Hateful Eight, when Samuel L. Jackson's character, Major Mark West, right? He had the letter from Lincoln. I love the interaction between Samuel L. Jackson and Walter Goggins. Like, Walter Goggins can play a racist like nobody's business. And after you be watching, like, I think this motherfucker really is racist. You know what I'm saying? Because he does it so effortlessly. So the back and forth between him, you got a letter from Abraham Lincoln? The Abraham Lincoln? When they're going back and forth with the letter. But the scene where he's talking to the old man played by Bruce Dern. Was he a captain? And in the Civil War, and he's talking about his son. I still debate if Major Mark West actually knew his son, because me and the wife were just having a discussion as the scene's playing out. I'm like, he's too vague. He never really describes his son. You know, I think he played off the dad's emotional state because his son's been missing. And if you go back and play that scene over and over again, Samuel L. Jackson never really never really describes his son. And then so the whole he was so cold, he made him walk naked through the mountains and shit. He was so cold. And he said, you know what a man do if if it get cold enough. And of course, here comes the old white man's like, hey, I'll pull out my big black. That I was just like, that's the worst scene ever. I think in any Tarantino flick was having a naked white man suck off Samuel L's character in the snow. I was like, come on, that was not necessary. Feel free to debate me. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to debate me. You know. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Jenny is what? Hey, yeah, I'm going with Sydney all day, every day. I'm going with, yeah, General Sam Smithers. That scene was pretty bad. Pretty bad. Oh, you gotta watch. No, watch the extended cut. I watched the extended cut. There's a cut. It's about maybe 15 minutes of added footage and the dialogue. And I think it flows way better because it gives a better backstory to Minnie. And when they did the plan, because they were all in cahoots, the Jody gang or whatever the case may be. Was it too cartoonish? It was so over the top, but I enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite films. I shit you not. One of my favorite Tarantino films is top 3 is Hateful Eight is up there. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and of course we got to go with Pulp Fiction. But then Reservoir Dogs is right there too. So maybe 4 Tarantino films. That's what exactly. I agree, and I think the general was so just grievous and so distraught because his son was missing for so long. I agree. I don't think he knew his son. I just think he wanted a reason to get him upset to kill him on GP. I like Django, but Django was okay. Unpopular opinion about Django. Django never killed anybody important. Okay. My only gripe with Django is Django killed the nobody white folk. He never killed anybody that was important. So let's go through all of Django's kills. Damn it. Yeah. The most important person was Candy, and Homeboy killed him. Right? Everybody that Django killed, he had to get permission from the dentist, and they were low-level white supremacists. Name me the white character that Django killed that was a prominent person, right? It didn't touch Don Johnson's character, right? Anybody he killed, he didn't kill Big Daddy. Django killed nobody, and nobody of high ranking. Nobody. He did not kill Big Daddy. Oh, he did kill Big Daddy? Are you sure? Let me see. Let me go look. I don't know. Let me make sure. Django. How did he kill him? Django. How did he kill him? Did he shoot him? Are you sure? Let me see this shit. Oh, he did get shot. Okay, let's watch it together. Hey, I have no issues with being stood corrected. It's all a part of learning. Let's watch it together. Let's see. The dentist gave him permission to kill Big Daddy. Once again, I stand on my position. He either had to get permission or he killed nobody of prominence. He couldn't do it on his own. Remember when he first went to Big Daddy's and they killed the 2 brothers, the Leon brothers or whatever. And the dentist had to come explain to Big Daddy, well, this is why my ward killed your people. So once again, without the white man, y'all, you see where I'm going with this, but I feel what y'all saying. So for the sake of the argument, yes, he got the shot off. but only because the dentist gave it to him. And I'm going to interject. He only killed him because the dentist said, "Okay, it's okay for you to do it." Well, he didn't call him. He didn't call him. What do you call him? His ward or whatever. Y'all get what I'm saying though. Like I'm not saying you guys aren't wrong. I'm just saying throughout the movie, they were either low level or he had to get permission. And then, like I said, the final boss was which was Candy. The dentist did that. Okay. The Brittle Brothers. Okay, thank you. Yeah. But wait, the Brittle Brothers were low level, and then once he come on, let's go back to let's go back to how the dentist had to explain himself why Django killed the Brittle Brothers. Django killed. Let's not do this. He had to. The dentist had to come explain. Wait. You know what? Can we watch this? You know what? Fuck, I'm gonna pull it. The other white man. Hey, he's just as important as I am. He's an extension of myself. I hate to tell y'all this, but Django was neutered. Okay, Django was neutered. He was given privileges. He was not free. Now. Remember how he had to break it down to her for her to understand how important he was. Killed him. Hold up. Let's get to after he killed him. The second one. Okay, he killed the first one. You die good, don't you? Or something like that, right? So then after he killed the second one, he killed the second one. Okay. Here we go. Why did you kill my peoples? Let me explain why my man did. Only by association to the white man did Django have any real privileges or power. Okay. All of his power was bestowed upon him by Schultz. That's what I took away from Django. Django really killed nobody of importance unless he was given permission to do so. That's just my stance on that.
So you may examine it?
On that night. So no, this didn't fly with Big Daddy. He still tried to come back and kill him the next night, right? Okay. You know, don't what? I have no beef. That was the story. Wait. So what do you mean that was the story? No. How this movie was marketed to y'all. Oh no. I got smoke. Oh no, we can do this. We can do this. Hold up. How the movie was marketed to everybody. You had a free slave killing white folk. White folk of importance, prominence, any and everybody could get it. Y'all, now I remember the marketing campaign for this. Y'all really thought y'all was about to get a motherfucking Shaka Zulu. Y'all thought y'all was getting. You thought you're gonna get an American version of Shaka Zulu. No, and a lot of people were so happy he was just killing white folk in this movie. You didn't think to the nuances behind it. Like, no, they were nobodies, low level, and the important ones either he had to get permission, or Schultz took him out. Okay, I'm just saying, we can do this. We can do this shit. Steven ran. He did not kill. No. Steven ran Candyland. Candyland was the figurehead. I highly doubt that. That's where we disagree. No plantation. No. I will say he was a critical logistical. He was important logistically to run the plantation. I'll give you that. But no, everything ran through Candy. Said when Steven was acting a fool. And Steve and Candy was like, "Hey, stop, chill out, go upstairs, go make their beds." Figureheads don't have power, right? So you know what? I got you, Techie. Come on, I got time tonight. Okay, Candy. You said figurehead. All right, Candy tells Steven to make the bed. Is it? Hold up. Oh yeah, here we go. Come on. I got time. And after this, we're gonna get to the dog man. Then we're gonna get this, the snake The children of the snakes. All right, hold on, real quick. Where is it at? Where's it at? Screen share. I got time. Playback speed. Once again, the most important interaction I believe in this movie is the relationship between Candy and Steven. But at the end of the day, Candy was the one in charge. There was no question. But come on. Bad. Listen, one of the most iconic lines in movie history. We're going to establish who's the figurehead and who's not. This is for Keep It Techie. Let's watch this interaction. Shall I continue? 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 Wait. About to drop the link. Now, I'm just saying. Which one better skill? Kill Bill all day. Kill Bill all day. Kill Bill all day. Kill Bill all day. I'm gonna just get to y'all comments. I'm getting y'all comments. I wanted to address Techie because Techie said Candy was a figurehead, and I was like, no, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Wait, in the end, he took them all out, rolled with his queen, the whole person beside the story. I mean, surface level. Sure, yeah, okay. I mean, surface level, yes. But we like to go in between the layers, right? Once again, I'm just giving my viewpoint how I see it. Okay. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Steven was in the will somewhere. I'm more than sure. I mean, this is fictional world building we're talking about, but I'm more than sure that had Calvin and his sister died, I'm sure Steven would have gotten a plot of land from their daddy. But once again, yeah, hey, I so that kills the figurehead. Uh-oh. Steven was playing a role. Think about what Mr. Candy and Steven both switched up the way they were talking away from everybody. Okay. Candy respected Steven. I firmly believe Candy respected Steven even because he sat to listen to when he said, I think he knows that girl, the German, Broomhilda. And he was like, how do you remember that scene? And after he listened to him, he actually agreed with Steven. He respected Steven. Does not still mean that at the end of the day, the buck stops with Candy. But I believe that Candy highly respected Steve, his opinion, and his thoughts. Still, like I you still a nigga, but you a respectable nigga. He is Steven. Hey, I agree. I think the third act between the whole relationship between Steven and Candy was highly important. But I think a lot of people missed that because they just wanted to see Jamie shoot white folks. That's just my point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's always deeper than. Steven had the power of first lady. Okay, I'm with that. Okay. Yeah, he here for that girl. Respect is not submission. Okay, but did he just not submit to Candy here? Wait now. Because wait. Is this not submission?
Black ass motherfucker. That is my problem. They are mine to burn. Now your problem right now is making a good impression. I want you to start solving that problem right now and get them goddamn rooms ready. Yes, sir. I guess you can.
That's submission. At the end of the day, you and your lady can argue, and at the end of the day, you tell her to shut up, or I don't want to talk about it, or that's it.
Go on now. Can't believe you brought a nigga to stay in the big house. Your daddy rolling over in this goddamn grave right now. This nigga in this game worse and worse.
He did as he was told. He took that shit now. Like, get your ass away from me with that bullshit. I hear what y'all saying. I like going into deeper layers with this stuff. You know. Oh, I said, can't. It's not him. Submit. Okay, got you. I feel you. For sure. Yeah. Steven ran everything. I ain't mad at it. I would expect Steven to die on a sword for Candy. Go out, in the blaze of glory for Candy, as he should. Okay, so let's do a little history real quick. So let's talk Emancipation Proclamation, Lincoln, and the Civil War. Okay, so we know part of the Civil War, part of it, partially, was because Northern whites didn't want the South to enslave everybody, because that was the first time the Northern whites were seeing Southern whites enslaved right next to black folk, right? But the main part, I believe, was the tax. Okay, so if I remember correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, Ryan, Mojo, you guys in here, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the major cause of the Civil War was the tax, right? Because the Southern plantations were getting equipment from Europe overseas for cheap. And then I believe the North was like, or the Confederates were like, we want to tax you guys as you importing this machinery in, right? Because they already wanted to get rid of the cotton gin came in, and I believe they wanted to get rid of human labor altogether. Just couldn't find out a way to do it. Whatever. The South are making a ton of money. The Northern, the Confederates were like, we want to tax this equipment that you keep bringing in from Europe or overseas, right? The South was like, no, we don't want to tax. We already pay enough as is, right? So back and forth. So then the North says, well, if you don't capitulate, we're going to free your slaves, right? And if I remember correctly, the South said, nope, we're going to succeed from the Union, hence your war. After the war was done, Lincoln said, well, I told you, had you not done this, you just let us tax you, right? I wouldn't have to do this and free your slaves. Here comes the Emancipation Proclamation. Now, all of a sudden, you got all these free slaves with nowhere to go. Does that sound about right? I'm really glossing over a lot of shit, but was that the main? Bring up that scene where he was sitting in the office drinking the bourbon. I got you. Okay. So basically, the Emancipation Proclamation only came about as a middle finger to the South because they didn't want to agree with the tax on their equipment. So it wasn't because Lincoln had a soft spot for black folk or whatever the case may be. Like, that was a middle finger to like, now I'm going to free your slaves. Boom. Yeah. It was basically a labor dispute. Exactly. It was a labor dispute. Yes. Thank you. Okay. That's like me really glossing over this shit. Yeah. It was always about money. But then, like I said, the North also, a lot of Northerners had never seen their kinfolk next to black folks in slavery. And the South was like, we're going to enslave everybody. Why the fuck not? So I could see both sides of that war. But yeah. Okay. So, a guy like Candy, even if you freed him, why would he leave the plantation? That's what kills me too. Another conversation that I don't think we have enough of. Like, so the slaves that left the plantation versus those that stayed. Well, where the fuck are you gonna go? You grew up here. This is all you knew. Who's gonna leave 3 hots in the cot? You know how your day is gonna be structured, versus let's go run off into the great beyond and just take a gamble. I never understood how history like demonized slaves that stayed. Don't you know you's free? Well, I don't want to be free. I like what I got a good thing here. You know what I'm saying? Like you you would have did cause listen, you light brights. Boy, I tell y'all what. I tell you light bright's gonna be all right no matter what era we in, okay? Somebody gonna always come take care of a light bright. Okay. Now if you're not light bright, you asked out. Oh, was he? Oh, for real, for real? Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, setting a pet free is cool. How is a pet different? Is no different. No, like my little feral cats, right? I want to make Gage an outside inside cat, and the wife is like, why would you do that? He's gonna want to go back out. So that would be cruel of me to remove him from one environment that he's always known to put him in what I think is best for him, and that's me and exerting my will over someone else's free will. So for me to make Gage an inside cat when he's known as outside, that's wrong on my part. So yeah, I never understood the discussion of demonizing the slaves that stayed on plantations. And a lot of times, we all know in history, a lot of times the slave master will a piece of the plantation or some land to those that stayed long enough or those they deem worthy. How you gonna get mad at somebody that don't want to be? I don't want to go out into the jungles in the marsh or in the swampland of Louisiana. I don't want to go fight alligators and shit and follow the North Star to Canada, right? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Wait. White folk didn't understand slavery until they watched Theron Greyjoy the Game of Thrones. Oh, you know what? They understood. They understood. They understood. They understood. You know, they understood. Yeah, resources. That was it. That was it. Yo, if the South could have enslaved everybody for profit, they would have done it. So at some point, it would have came to a head. I just find it interesting how those moving pieces kind of sparked the Civil War. You know what I'm saying? Right. Confederates said we legally have binding contracts for our laborers. Yeah, they signed a contract, deeper conversation about what's like. Yeah. I agree. There's so many different moving parts to the whole Civil War. Man, I don't think we'll ever, you know, it's nothing I can get. I'm fascinated by it. But it's just like you learn something new every couple of years. I learn something new. You know. Okay. All right. Let's do the dog man thing. Taylor, Mississippi. If you live in Taylor, Mississippi, watch the fuck out. Watch the fuck out. There's something out there. And once again, if you frequent dog man communities, the cover story for all of these are dog attacks, packs of dogs. Now, I'm not saying dogs don't attack in packs, but they had to be like near starvation, and you really had to provoke them to attack you. We're talking like packs of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Doesn't happen like that. Especially grown adults. All right. So let me find it. It's not much. They're doing and it's not much being reported, but those whatever comes out of Taylor, this is what we got. Once again, your cover story is always going to be dog attacks. And it's like the dogs don't do like they don't do this. They don't move like this. But let's continue. Let's go. Oh.
And finally tonight, werewolf, Bigfoot, missing link, perhaps an elaborate hoax. The people in Taylor, Mississippi would like answers to these very questions. Our own Amber Maddox is in the field to file the story of Horror in the Hamlet.
For residents of tiny Taylor, Mississippi, it's the classic case of things that go bump in the night. Strange noises, unexplained shadows, and dogs barking for no reason have become the norm, all associated with what many in the area called the swamp booger.
Now I blew it up so you can probably see it a little better.
But a recent photo taken by local Tina Bragg may have just substantiated what has long been considered a myth.
Now I reckon you can really see it there. And is that one scary looking something. Look at that mouth. Look at that eye. That ain't your natural dog running around in the bushes.
Uh
A
oh.
sudden rash of animal mutilations and strange droppings have many believing that the mysterious creature is anything but a myth.
I ain't never seen nothing like that.
Aubrey Dale is a cattle farmer and was once skeptical of what he considered a fairy tale. But the discovery of some of his livestock torn apart by an unseen attacker and unexplained feces in his backyard has Mr. Dale rethinking his previous stance.
We had some cows tore up in the field, man. There was this stuff on the ground, this crap, man. I ain't never seen nothing look like that.
Though many in the area believe that this is the work of a Sasquatch, local Billy Teague is convinced this is the work of a creature from Cajun country known as the Lugaroo.
Man, mutilating animals, cutting animals' heads off, howling at the moon. That's the Lugaroo, all right. And I promise you, the worst is yet to come.
For now, local authorities aren't commenting on their investigation,
Nigga.
but they are looking into the reports that grow in number with each passing week. For Tina Bragg, the answers can't come soon enough.
I live by myself, and let me tell you what, I'm going to be some scared somebody until the government or somebody comes down here and does something about this creature that's been terrorizing this town of Taylor. I'm tired of it, and you know, everybody else is, and I want to know what it is, and I want it gone.
Reporting from Taylor, Mississippi, I'm Amber Maddox for Channel 7 News.
Bruh. Wait. Let me get to the comments. 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 I can't with y'all right now. Y'all stupid. Hey. I'm just are they like werewolves? Listen. Werewolves, here's the difference. Very, very simple. Here's the difference between a werewolf and a dog man. Werewolves basically are humans that transform into werewolves. Skinwalkers, that's over there. A dog man is its own thing. Okay, it's anthropomorphic, but it has hocks. It has an upper body, torso of a man-ish, and head of a wolf or a dog, and it's its own thing. Okay, that's the basic definition. When you hear, and a lot of people don't know the difference between dogman and werewolf, but werewolf is at some point it was human, is human, can be human. Skinwalkers over there. Dogman is a dogman 24/7, 365. Yeah. That woman was like, I'm hey, there are things out here, man. Listen, there are things out here. There are things out here. Okay. Please don't think that, you know, some bits. They got some shit out here, man. Lugaroo or Lugaroo with the L or Rougarou with the R. Creole. In Louisiana, it's called Rougarou. Now, other parts of outside of Louisiana, they call it Lugarou. Lugarou, Rougarou, both mean same thing. Of some wolf, a walking man wolf of some sort. Okay, so one of the famous encounters is his name Ron Berger. Man, there's so many different encounters like that's pretty much gone viral with Dogman encounters. I had to do that its own separate show. Shit, I wouldn't say a coyote, but yo, you got things out here now called wraiths. Those are fairly new now. More and more people are seeing them kind of come out of nowhere. So she said, I want to go. You want to go? Okay, you know what? Let me see. Let me find. What else did I find about Taylor? Let me see the other one. Screen share, screen share, screen share. Okay. So this was published in July 2022. So Taylor, Mississippi, population of 298 as of 2020. Okay. It's in Lafayette County. Once home to Chickasaw tribe. Okay. They helped in the Civil War. One of the worst train wrecks in the state. Fires, yellow fever, and boll weevils. Let's see. Okay. Now, this story is pretty famous. It's called The Siege of Lockett Ranch, right? So, in this story that people have retold, but the actual story is basically these black farmers got into a goddamn shootout with a pack of dogmen. And I mean shootout as them shooting at, and they're trying to attack the home. Okay. It's a very, very famous story. It's been retold. I know the great grandson or one of the grandsons has spoke about it. At one point he was at the house, but they were sent away. It was just the grandfather, the father, and a couple uncles that stayed at the house. And the house was in that pack of dogmen's territory. And every night they would come and attack the house. At one point, they were digging holes underneath the house, and they did a final stand at the house, and it was a massive shootout. Sheriffs were called. At one point, the sheriffs had seen something out there. This is a very, very famous dogman story. Extremely famous. Okay. So basically, the Lockett family bought a piece of land. The daddy and the grandfather were loggers. They had a whole logging team. They had a plot of land they were supposed to log out. So what ended up happening? A couple guys go missing. The loggers get scared. Like, hey man, there's something out here. We're missing guys. Guys go out there, don't come back. They would pay extra money for people to people wouldn't stay past 6 p.m. or past sundown. It's a pretty extensive story, but they had people get killed or go missing. They brought in more help. They wouldn't stay past 6. And then at one point, one of them got, and during the mid kidnapping, he was being dragged through the woods screaming, and they went to go try to help the guy. So basically, yeah, at the end of the day, it was a last stand to save the land. And after that final shootout that night, they left and never came back to the land. Okay, so okay, right. In the local sawmill, the loggers began working. They claimed to see fast-moving figures that followed them. Then one of the men went missing. All they found of him was a piece of bloody clothing. And then they attacked the family home, growling and howling. They sent it right because they sent the women and children away after the first couple of attacks. Right. Some people stayed to help, and let me see. So yeah, so it's either called a rougarou or a lougarou, depending on what part of Louisiana or the South you're in. But they all mean the same thing. Basically, a wolf-like creature. More men disappeared. Attacks continued. People in the town began to talk. Okay, so final attempt. They set traps, hunted the dogmen, and they ended up not getting the job done. They left the property. This is in the dogman community, this is a standard story to research. So okay, let me get out of here. I'm going left. Some of y'all like, what the fuck is Sly on? Let me get out of here. Some of y'all. No. I mean, shootout is them shooting at the creatures. That's what I meant. Sorry. So some people are like, yeah. So no, not Skinwalker Ranch. No, Lockett Ranch. Lockett Ranch is a infamous story. I mean, once again, these are black folk. The common joke, the running joke is black folk don't go through this type of stuff. And there's a lot of black folk out here, especially in the South, that seen some things. The grandmothers, grandparents told them, hey, don't go here, don't go there, you know. So yeah. The one guy, I forget his name, no, because they after he killed it, after they tried to get into his truck, the government came to see him and say, hey, you killed one of our assets. So yes, the government is well known about these creatures. Some of these creatures, and currently it be, you know, they had trackers in them, and they let them go roam certain areas. You know, a lot of homeless people go missing in some of these areas. You know what the fuck is his name, y'all? Was his name Joe Barger? Hold up, let me find the story. I don't. There's two. There's three major stories when it comes to Dogmen: the Lockett Ranch, and then I believe his name is Joe Barger, and there's another white dude, the guy that shot it, killed one, and the government came to talk to him about it. They threatened him like, you know, we could end you basically. I don't want Joe's story. I'll do Joe's story another time because it's pretty long. But let me find the trucker. What is his name? I want him to tell it because everyone's told his story, but once it picked up steam, like he actually came out and said, "Okay, yeah, this is what took place." Let me see. Okay, wait. I don't want the woman. I want to hear it in his words. That is him, Joe Barger. Okay, that's his name. I want his story. Mm. Damn it. Is this him? Is this him? Okay. Okay. All right. So let me walk y'all down this real quick. This sort of went left. Don't worry, I'm gonna get to the Snake Society, but this really went left because some of y'all like this dog man shit, and I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. All right. Now, these two men here.
Through fix.
Okay, Matt Emsh, his story out of Ohio. Him and his friends encountered a dog man in like the steel mill of one of those closed down factories in Ohio. I believe it's Ohio, right? He has his own story. His story is viral. This guy's story we're about to listen to is super viral. Like in the dogman community, Matt Emsh, Joe Barger, Siege of Lockett Ranch are the three biggest. They're like the Bible of dogman research and history. Okay, so he got in contact when everybody was doing interviews. I mean, Matt's been around doing his interviews. Joe Barger's been doing his interviews and shit. But Matt's story's a little bit longer. I just want to get to Joe's because Joe. Yeah, let's just get to Joe. Let's do Joe, and then like another time I'll come back and do Matt's story. Okay. Once again, I'm not here to convince y'all to do anything, believe in anything, but you know, this shit out here that will that will cut you in half. Let's go.
Honor. I've been waiting on, and I look forward to speaking with you again.
Yeah, same here, Mary.
So, you and I have both had, experiences happen to us that has really changed our lives, and it's hard to really put a finger on how much it's
terrible. Hold up.
Good, some good come out of it, some not so good, but overall, I think this encounter I had did improve a lot of things just by surviving it and getting them to tell people about what actually happened and some important information that isn't just unique to me, but as a certain
And so yes, Joe he's still a trucker. He still drives trucks.
survivor of an attack. That sorry about that noise out here. We got a truck backing up. But anyway, so I guess in short, that's kind of where I'm at now is drive a truck, and I'm in a truck right now. Actually, just parts of the night. but I can get into my encounter and
Yes, let's get to your account.
a
Let's get
load
to
of paper.
Okay. Oh yeah, hauling a load of paper. I believe he's on. I don't think he's on Bray Road. Okay, this is the start of the story. Okay, let's go.
And as I picked that load up, and as I was bringing it back to the terminal that we had down in Michigan, in the lower part of Michigan, I was coming to. I was starting to look at my gauges and noticed my air was leaking in my air supply from my trailer, and from my trailer it was leaking. I found out, but I stopped to look at what was going on, and I found the leak, and I didn't want to wait on service. I'm in this pretty secluded area. It's a main road, but it's not really highly traveled. It's more of a up in that part of Michigan. It's kind of more vacation homes and small towns, and hunting cabins and things like that.
Wait, let me speed this up.
And when I stopped I found a little spot on the side of the road, which I knew this area kind of well. I've done this route and this load before. I stopped, turned around. I made a U-turn to.
Okay, one of his airlines went low. He gets outside to check the truck to check the airlines, and this is when he first sees it. Okay, let's go.
Pull into this, like turn around for snowplows or something. I had to do that. I had to do that the way it's all configured there. So I did that. So I was facing the other direction, and I think that's one detail that I missed on some of these when times I've explained this encounter. But and this I think has some plays into it a little bit too, speculation. But I think it plays into a little bit of why I might have survived too. But as I was underneath the trailer, I noticed there was sounds. The atmosphere didn't seem right. I felt weird. Some kind of, I wouldn't say it was electricity, but I would say it was more of seemed like an echo chamber more than that, but not really with an echo, maybe a vacuum. I don't know, but atmosphere was getting weird, and hair was standing up on end, like on the neck and things. It's just, I was really creeped out. And I saw and heard really weird noises in the woods, and I was seeing shadows in the bushes, maybe 30, 40 feet away, really dense brush and trees right at that part. And I was underneath the trailer, and I did fix it. It took me five minutes. It was an easy fix. I just had things with me that I could do that with. It was a temporary repair, but it got going. The air pressure held, and I just started taking off. As I was taking off, I did another U-turn because I was heading the wrong way, but I made a U-turn again to head back to where I was going. So as I straightened out, was going up the hill, making sure there was no
Oh shit!
traffic or any cars coming. So because I was at the bottom of the hill too, and it's a steep grade right there, and I was loaded heavy and going slow. Until you get to the top, you can't go any more than 25, maybe 30 at the most. And as I was going, I was looking on my left on the traffic side, and I was all clear. And I suddenly looked over, noticed it just felt a dark presence on my right, on my passenger side. My windows both are down. It's June. It's a nice day. It's like 7:30 at night, so it's broad daylight still. And this wolf, huge wolf head is peering down inside my window from the other side of my passenger side mirror, running along with me. Yeah, I couldn't go any faster.
Now, remember the old man story I played for y'all. Remember the other old man story? And he was telling the story how it was on the road, and he couldn't go too fast because he was in the muscle car, and the muscle cars are good for going straight. And the dog man was pretty much keeping up with him. And remember how terrified that old man was telling the story? He said he could hear the click clack of its of its claws on the concrete. That man was so terrified, and because of that encounter, it cost him his marriage. He had severe PTSD, couldn't hold a job. He was on drugs for a little bit. So when these people have these encounters, after the encounter, for the most part, their lives go to shit. They have some major issues. But okay, it's running alongside of his truck. It's looking down on him in his cab. Imagine it looking down into his cab. That's how tall this thing was. Okay, let's go.
About 25, maybe 30 at the most, and I couldn't go any faster. This was a long grade up a hill, and he was black. He was jet black. He was actually leaning over down to look in, and I was in a regular cab. No, I wasn't in a sleeper cab at the time. I was in a day cab, they called it. and I could see the blackness through the windows. It was filling up everything. It was just huge, and his head was so big, he barely could, I think, could fit his head through the window if he wanted to put it. He was sticking his hands in the window a little bit, pulling it back. He was grabbing at my door handle. My doors were locked, but I was freaking out. And I was trying to hit my door locks, but they were already locked, but my windows were down. And he was trying to pull my handle, and there was just some scratches on the door after that, and a little bit of the rubber on the top was scratched. And he, he was looking at me with these intense. He wasn't an animal. He didn't look like an animal. He just had this intense look in his eyes, and he didn't look animal, but he didn't look human. I say he, I don't know, but I'm just assuming that. So he, and he, I don't know. A million things went through my mind, but at that time, I always have a gun on me, always of some sort. I have carried for many years, and in the truck I had a gun and I mounted on my seat at that time. It was a Smith & Wesson Governor, loaded with 45 Colt. It's a revolver that you can load with 410 or 45 Colt, long Colt they call it. And I had special rounds that I special ordered that are solid copper, called maximum expansion bullets from Lehigh Defense. I pulled that gun when I had this feeling that it was going to get to me, and I was about ready to get torn apart or something. I didn't know, but it wasn't good, and it wasn't, giving me any feeling that he was not going to go away. And he gave me this thought in my head. I was feeling it. People talk about mind speak and telepathy and things. I don't know if that's what it was, but I felt like he was saying, "I'm going to get at you. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do. I got you." And as soon as that thought came in my head, that gun came in my thought, and I grabbed it. I pulled it fast, and shot twice, very fast, within a fraction of a second. That happened. Right into his head, and I'm sure one of those bullets caught his eye. Maybe both of them did. I don't know, but when those shots went off, he went down like he hit a clothesline. He was down instantly. And because he was running, he was running fluid. He had a very fluid motion to him. He was jet black, and his teeth were white. His eyes were dark, was bright amber yellow, and his teeth, like I said, and he looked very groomed. Very well groomed, like he was kept or taken care of somehow. He didn't look like he's mangy or dirty or anything. His fur had like white or translucent tips if the sun hit it a certain way as his fur was moving. He had a huge mane too. Like it looked like almost like he had a cape, but it just
Okay, so now what they say is they believe that the hairs, right, are like fiber optics, which allows them to kind of blend in, almost like cloaking with their fur. So what they've said is they found fur, and it's got translucent properties, and it whatever background, like a chameleon, like it's able to blend in with this environment like crazy, like a cloaking device. So some can do that, not all, but some. So when they say they find some hairs and its translucent properties, that's what they're referring to. But let's continue.
think of a lion's mane. He had a foot. His mane was dark black too, just like the rest of them. And as that happened, when he fell and he was sliding, I could tell that I had a good lethal hit on him, because I've hunted and I've done that quite a bit of hunting in my life. And I know when you hit an animal in the brain, I know what that looks like, and that's what that looked like. And his extremities were stiffened out just straight, and he wasn't even trying to get up, other than he was just straightened out. He was just stiffened out, and he was sliding, and he rolled a little bit, and as he was pushing the weeds over on the side, he looked as huge as maybe a cow or a horse, only a werewolf. And he was by the time he stopped, I was getting a little bit further away up the hill, and I could tell he had a tail. He had hands like raccoons, and his nails were black too, or his like claws weren't nails. They were black, probably 3 inches long, probably at least. I would guesstimate. I'm estimating he had to be at least 10 and a half feet tall, because he had to look down on that 9 feet in the truck, and he was looking down in on me. And I would say, I know what the size of a horse or maybe a cow that looks about that size, what they would weigh, and so it would be in the neighborhood of 1,000 pounds. So that's what I was seeing as I was looking in the mirror, and there was dust kicked up, and mowing the weeds down as he was sliding. And
Okay, so I'm gonna speed this up a bit, but he goes back to see basically to go finish it off or just check on it, look at it, right? By the time he turns it back around, there's a government jeep. Two people are like, "Hey, did you see anything?" He's like, "No, did you see anything?" He's like, "No, we just saw a bear," and the body was already gone. Those are two government workers. So then I think a few months later, they call him in, and the government. This is where government pretty much comes in and threatens him. Let me find that part because this is, like I said, I'm not going to go through an hour of this, but you got the gist of it. The thing was running next to his truck, trying to get in. He shot it, he killed it. He went back to look for it. The government officials are already there on the scene. The body was already gone. Okay.
And then I thought, well, I'm going to turn. I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was the Twilight Zone. I thought I lost my mind. I had never heard of a dog man. I didn't know what it was. I've heard of Bigfoot. Actually, another story, but I'd actually seen a Bigfoot before, and my grandfather has. And so that wouldn't have been much of a surprise to me. But I'd never heard of a dog man. And I just had, it was a werewolf to me at the time. And I'm like, well, that's whatever's going on. I'm going to make sure what happened just happened. I turn around, my ears are ringing like you couldn't believe, because you can just imagine that 45 going off in a little small cab like that. And so I had that going on, and just all this confusion, kind of, I don't know if it was not really fear, because I had a lot of different emotions happening at the same time. But
Okay, let's speed this up. Okay, this is where the government comes in. Okay.
Come and talk to me. They were instructed to do that when I come through. So I didn't know I had no idea what was going on. I thought it was related to trucking, No, it wasn't related to trucking at all. And when they got there, they didn't get there right away, but they got there in about an hour, I think. They had to be pretty close by. And because when I was sitting there and I started walking in, I thought they wanted to do an inspection on me, and they said, "No, we're holding you here for federal authorities." Okay, I don't know what it could be, but when they showed up, they just were started the intimidating factor right off the bat, just to throw me off, get me off balance, and I guess just to make me feel like there's no way that I can protect myself from these people. There's so many things that were said and threats that were made. They followed through on something, but after that, because they did do a few things, like they put a tracker on the car. They just shut down the bank account for a minute. I got that turned back on. I found that tracker on my car only because somebody working on the car saw it and said, "Do you know what this is?" It was very small. It was like an inch. I didn't know what it was, but he said it looks like some electronic tracker, and I don't know, but I don't even know. This was several years ago. I don't even think I had it or anything, but it was very small and very thin. It was probably like an inch by an inch square and maybe a quarter inch thick. And it was just black, and it was magnetized. And let's see. And then I started talking about it a lot more after I didn't say that worked for a while. I didn't really say anything anymore about it for another 4 years or something at all. I went to a conference about.
Okay, so like before he started coming out and telling himself, word got out. People were kind of retelling his story, and then after like 3 or 4 years, he finally says, okay, let me tell it. Let me tell my story, since everyone's telling it for him. But so he's number one. Matt Emsch, his story is, geez, the way he goes in and describes it, and like I said, it's him and his friends. And after their encounter with it, all their lives pretty much went to shit for the most part. I think 2 of them are already dead. He ended up losing a leg because of health issues. So one day we'll go over Matt Emsch's story, and then I'll go back and refine the old man's story. And so some of y'all have never heard the old man tell his story, but the old man, literally, you can hear him like tears in his eyes. That's how terrified this man was at just retelling his story with his encounter. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and get into the main topic. Let's do this. Let's do that. Okay. Now, once again, I'm not here to sway anybody's opinions, definitions, religion, none of that shit. I just see things from a different lens, only because of my life experiences and the people I've met in my travels. Okay. Once again, if you are a Christian or you are religious or you believe in the King James version of the Bible word for word, please just do yourself a favor. Just don't watch me. It's just don't even hate watching me. Okay. All right. Reptilian, reptile societies, snake, serpent societies. I don't think people realize how massive and widespread the impact the reptilian race has had on humans and still has on humans. Now we get it. The Planetary Galactic Federation, reptiles, insects, Pleiadians, Alpha Centaurians. We get it. There's a whole galactic federation of different beings out here, but I think one dominates the most. Now Pleiadians, if you believe they're in Antarctica, you know, they spawned the Germans. Cool. I'll give you that. They created the Germans, and the reptiles pretty much got everybody else. Now, I've always said that humans are an experiment. I don't believe in Darwinism to that extent. I don't believe in just an amoeba all of a sudden just over time grew legs and came out of the water and got lungs, and I don't believe that shit. Okay, I've always felt that humans have been an experiment of some sorts from whoever. I have issues with the Bible. Some things with the Bible just does not make sense if you're talking from a creator standpoint. Okay. Now, when it comes to the Great Flood, now there's clear records, different societies. There was a global flood of some sort. That's not for dispute. The dispute is if this God created this flood to wipe out a certain race of beings because they corrupted man so much. Well, he didn't do a very good job of it because you still have remnants, bloodlines, descendants of these said creatures. Okay, so what was the sense in even having the flood if you're not going to get rid of them all, right? Only to have their children and their children's children and remnants of them still having an impact on society. Now, I'm just focused on the reptilian part because they have the biggest, I think, most expansive lore in human history. I don't care if it's Africa. I don't care if it's Europe. I don't care if it's East Asia. Anywhere on this continent, there's something with snakes and serpents. Any and everywhere. Mesoamerican, Mesopotamian, snakes, serpents, everywhere. Everywhere. Okay. All right. BC, AD, whatever the case may be. Okay. Now, where do I go? Wait. Okay. Now, let me point out some things. Let me show you how deep it goes, even from old to modern times. And I think Mojo's going to get a kick out of it when we get to the modern times. All right. So first up, everybody knows in the medical society, nurses, ladies, the caduceus, right? The two snakes up and intertwining. Now, if you want to get, hotepish about it, it's the Kundalini rising, but the medical society, the two snakes and the two winged snakes intertwined. Yes. Okay. I don't know if that's a slap in the face or just how blatantly it is to people. You know what I'm saying? The very image or the very symbol of health. Any hospital, your ambulance has the wings and the serpent, right? Up the spiral. Okay. The very people, the institution you go to for health and well-being or when you get sick, snakes. All right. That's low level shit. Now let's get to, for those that, you want to go to Bible, everybody understands that, God asked Eve, well, shit. And she says, well, the serpent beguiled me. Now people say, well, beguile could mean, well, it does mean, charmed or enchanted. Some people take it a step further and say, well, some believe that Eve had sex with the serpent, giving birth to Cain and not Abel. Because believe when God had asked Cain, where's your brother? He's like, that's not my brother, whatever the case may be. Okay. I'm not here for that. You believe what you want in that regards. Okay. My thing is, why did this flood not wipe out what God deemed to be the most destructive race of beings? Right. So God missed. He took his shot and he missed. He missed pretty poorly. Okay. If now I said, like I said, the flood's not disputed, but if you believe the flood was designed to eradicate a specific race of beings, he did a piss poor job. You had one job. Okay. You got one job and he didn't do it. All right. There's that. Now, how do I want to do this? Okay. I don't want to go over notes per se, because that's boring. Let's do this. There's a video I want to watch together, and I'm going to pause it in certain parts, and then I'll do a picture show slide. Yeah, let's do that. Let's watch the video together, and then certain parts I'll stop it and I'll just give commentary and I'll give proof of how expansive this serpent society that we live in. Listen, now I'm not saying we are all children or descendants of the reptiles or reptilians. A lot of folks are. So let me do this real quick. I'm gonna kind of cheat on this one. Elongate. Okay. Okay. Now here's I'm gonna cheat real quick for y'all. Now, elongated skulls. Now if you disagree with me, that's on you, but everybody pretty much agrees the elongated skulls, that's serpent society. You had people that would actually try to bind their heads, okay, into into the shape of a serpent. Okay. There are actual priests that actually bound their limbs to the point where they would force themselves to just crawl or slither like a snake, much like how the Asians would bind the women's feet into these ridiculously small shoes. They would bind their feet. You had priests that would actually bind their bodies, their limbs, to the point where their limbs were useless. Every society, there's elongated skulls. Africa, Asia, Latin America, doesn't matter. Okay. The practice involved tightly wrapping a baby's head with a cloth shortly after birth to shape. Okay. All right, let me get to this video. Once again, feel free to disagree. I'm just here for, to give my point of view, how I see things. Everything's not as cut and dry as people would like it to be. Okay, let's go.
22. The head of a statue of an ancient serpent deity was discovered in Palestine. This archaeological find was a landmark event for the region. But what connects it to a series of unsolved disappearances and mysterious tragedies across the island of Malta?
Okay. 2 years ago, I did a video about the missing children of Malta and the Hypogeum. Okay. The island of Malta, long regarded as Serpent Central. There's underground caves and all types of shit in the island, underneath the island of Malta. Okay. There was a classroom of children that went missing. And then at some point, the parents that were looking for these children could hear the screams of their children underground. And they would go into these caves looking for the children. Britain also understood what was underneath in these caves and purposely had a bunch of the caves blown up to be covered up. Okay. It is long regarded as Serpent Central. They've always said there's creatures down there underground, and like I said, the British Society was aware of it. In certain parts of the caves, they wanted no access to it, either going in or coming out. But we'll get into all that. Come on.
In the 20th and 21st centuries. Additionally, how are these Maltese mysteries related to the discovery of lizard-like human figurines in southern Iraq? And what could have been, and possibly still is, a deadly ancient serpent cult that once existed further north in the heart of the Kurdistan region of Iraq? A cult deeply entrenched in magic and unsettling ritualized practices.
Okay, Iraq goes by another name. It used to be called Ur. Okay, Iraq used to be called Ur. I think it's called, you spell it Urr, the city of Ur. Okay, before it was Iraq, it was something else, and it was Mesopotamia. But then before that, it was called Ur. There was a city in Iraq back then. Okay, let's go.
Welcome to my home country of Jordan. Within it is one of the world's most sublime, hostile, yet mysterious locations known to man, known as Reptilian, or in English, the Black Desert. Spanning from Jordan to Syria, as well as northwestern Saudi Arabia, this area is characterized by dark volcanic rock formations and a harsh, arid environment, hence its name. One of its greatest mysteries concerns geoglyphs that not only offer insight into ancient human activities that may go back to pre-flood days, but also connects a 2022 Huzza discovery with theorized alien artifacts, with the disappearance of 30 Maltese schoolchildren 82 years ago. During the 1940s, there were reports of a number of anomalous occurrences linked to the Hal Saflieni Hypogeum, a vast ancient subterranean necropolis beneath Malta. Although largely considered an urban legend, the most significant mystery associated with this site was corroborated by a report that appeared in the August 1940 issue of National Geographic magazine.
Okay, now remember why Iraq, Iran is so important. There are stargates over there. Afghanistan. Now, I'm not here to, I'm just saying a lot of weird shit over there in the Middle East. I remember there were reports of them finding some ancient aliens weapons cache. If you believe they're the giants live in those caves as well. If you believe the story of the secret special forces going up against the giants of Kandahar, a lot of weird shit in the Middle East, man. Which is why they're always over there. I'm talking beneath the surface discussion of just oil and poppy. Okay, let's continue.
Where allegedly a class of 30 school children and their teachers vanished. In later years, this mystery, along with other strange anomalous occurrences in the area, has been linked to the existence of a race of ancient serpent-like entities who were once worshipped in the Mediterranean and Levant. It was in August 1940 when Nat Geo featured a controversial article that implied that something nefarious both above and below the catacombs is occurring, especially since the British deemed it necessary to detonate several sections of it after the disappearances. On a side note, Malta was a British colony from 1814 to 1964, so important decisions regarding the management of its archaeological heritage had to be approved by Westminster in London. According to lore, it is said that for many weeks after the incident, the parents of these children claimed to hear their wailing from underground across various parts of the island. However, despite numerous excavations and searches, they were eventually declared deceased, which begs the question, why along with the Maltese authorities would the British, who apparently ordered the caves sealed, hamper their own search efforts? Were they really trying to find who were lost, or trying to keep something from being found? To answer that question, and explain how it is connected to archaeological finds in Palestine and Jordan, we need to travel forward to 1961 and an article published in the Journal of Borderland Research.
Don't worry, this all ties into, I'm going to tie this into how worldwide, how the Serpent Society is well regarded and well worshipped.
Published in March 1961, the article titled Malta, Entrance to the Cavern World, references everything from theories of an inner Earth civilization to the possibility of a race of humanoid serpents once dominating the planet. The piece focuses on the anomalous nature of the Hypogeum and how the Maltese archaeological authorities may be complicit in keeping fringe aspects of its existence hidden. In this article, Mrs. Constance Lois Jessup, a British embassy worker in Malta, recounted an incident that occurred sometime before the alleged disappearance of the class and their teachers. Jessup decided to venture into parts of the cavern outside the usual tourist itinerary without a tour guide. Here, she claimed to have encountered giant humanoids and, in the darkness.
Okay, So let's do this. She says, there across the cave from an opening deep below me emerged 20 persons of giant stature. In single file, they walked along a narrow ledge. Their height I judged to be about 20 or 25 feet, since their heads came about halfway up the opposite wall. They walked very slowly, taking long strides. Then they all stopped, turned, and raised their heads in my direction. All simultaneously raised their arms, and their hands beckoned me. The movement was something like snatching or feeling or for something, as the palms of their hands were face down. Terror rooted me to the spot. Go on, we're all getting stuck in the passage, my friend jerked at my sash. What's the matter? Well, there's nothing much to see, I stammered, taking another step forward. Okay.
Felt something wet and, according to some retellings, lizard or amphibian-like, slither past her in the dark before she escaped. When Jessup returned, sometime after the disappearance of the kids, the tour company denied any knowledge of the previous tour guide's employment, who had allowed her to explore deeper into the maze. And now today, in 2024, the organization Heritage Malta, the Maltese agency for museums, has dismissed her story as nothing more than an urban legend, simultaneously dismissing her story as well as the existence of a lost class of elementary school children. The Maltese authorities have been consistent with their understanding of the strange events that had allegedly occurred, stating that the lower levels of the hypogeum she described simply do not exist. However, according to fringe researchers Riley Crabb, writing in 1960, and Dr. Gordon Allen in 1966, there are multiple unofficial sources that state the lower levels of the catacombs do exist, and linked to a network of tunnels that stretch for hundreds of miles, even connecting to the catacombs below the Hill Vaticanus in Rome. This all implies that not only could the Maltese and the British be aware of something abnormal about the cave system, but also numerous other global organizations.
Okay, here's what the priest.
This takes us to an ancient cult that seemingly developed around the worship of humanoid lizards. While many believe in Jessup's story, drawing faith-based connections between it and the biblical Nephilim giants, most are unaware of official government-sponsored research that has yielded results that are just as mysterious. But before we explore those results, we first have to jump back several decades to Tunisia, 1907, and the mysterious death of a Jesuit priest. This priest, a Father Emmanuel Magri, was not only one of the first senior academics to officially study the hypogeum, but it was his research that laid the initial groundwork for all what we know about these catacombs today. But this research was also controversial. In addition to the well-publicized discovery of 7,000 skeletal pieces, a notable portion of which possessed elongated skulls that look non-human, his work also strongly suggested that elements from Maltese mythology concerning the supernatural existence of giants from the island's distant past may actually be true. On the 29th of March 1907, Father Magri, who by the way was a trained ethnographer and archaeologist, passed away in his new Tunisian home just days after arriving from Malta. It has been speculated that he was exiled there because he may have ruffled some feathers in London following controversial reports he submitted to the British Museum, the authority who oversaw the affairs of the Maltese Valletta Museum, due to mentioning a potential supernatural component, definitely existing within the hypogeum. It is believed that because he was a well-renowned archaeologist, his evidence could have theoretically developed into a serious challenge for the scientific establishment of the early 1900s. Because Magri was a relatively young 56-year-old in good health, his passing was sudden and unexpected. With official sources,
I'm just taking a break because, for content purposes, why, for copyright issues. But yeah, they got him up out of here. And they got him up out of here.
Saying it was a type of heart condition. However, since an air of secrecy and a perceived obfuscation has grown around the hypogeum over the past century, especially in the first 50 years following the alleged disappearance of that class of school children within it, it has been speculated that Magri was permanently silenced due to his evidence and the papers he would have eventually published based on said evidence. Now, to be clear, despite being suspicious, there is no actual proof, as far as we know, of anything untoward concerning his passing. But it is still strange that a significant portion of the research that he had been conducting at the hypogeum since 1903 mysteriously vanished right at the time of his passing. However, in the years since Father Magri's original findings were lost, other government-hired experts have raised new questions that hint to the anomalous nature of the catacombs way beyond Magri's original research, that not only connects them to a supernatural Mesopotamian snake cult stemming from ancient Kurdistan, but also potential alien or extra-dimensional involvement within the Levant and Mediterranean region. This research draws links to pagan demonology and a deity named Astarte, who, according to archaeologist Vittorio Di Cesare, was a snake-faced goddess worshipped across the central and eastern Mediterranean.
Okay, let's stop there. Do I have in my notes? I gotta practice. You know what? This is just because. Let's look her up. Astartes. And also, it's funny that that's the name because Warhammer fans. That's what the Space Marines are called, the Astartes. Astartes. I don't want that. Yeah, as soon as I type in Astartes, of course, I get a ton of Warhammer shit. Ain't that's great? Okay, here we go. All right. That's a starting. Okay, that's a starting. Okay. Let's continue.
And this entity, or its worshippers, we will find, may not only be indirectly responsible for the disappearance of that elementary class, but also the mysterious demise of a German tourist in 2019 near to one of Malta's other catacombs, known as the Realm of the Dead. But before we discuss how, we first need to travel to Gaza 2022, and a landmark discovery of the statue of an ancient deity tenuously connected to a serpent cult, and a mysterious ancient group of hierophants known as the Serpent Priests.
Now, these are the priests that basically, from what I remember, basically physically bound themselves to a point where their limbs were useless. Let's continue.
In April 2022, in Khan Younis, a once beautiful city on the Mediterranean coast, now gone, a farmer, Nidal Abu Aid, discovered a 4,500-year-old limestone sculpture while tending his fields east of the city. In a corner of the Levant, known for strange artifacts, what made Nidal's discovery unique was its connection to ancient lore that not only theoretically dates back to the birth of human civilization, but also involves a literal ancient cosmic alien horror, encompassing much of the Levant, including Syria and Lebanon, parts of Arabia, specifically Jordan and the northern edges of Saudi, as well as ancient Mesopotamia as far east as Kurdistan, and the western edges of the Mediterranean, spanning from Egypt to Spain. The Palestinian discovery appears to be linked to an ancient belief system centered around the worship of deities that are either intelligent reptiles or intimately connected to such reptiles. As we will show, theoretically, this belief system seems to be rooted in scientific, supernatural, and religious traditions that may even still be active today.
Okay. I like where this is going. Let's continue.
Disparate archaeological discoveries made across Iraq, Jordan's Black Desert, and Malta's catacombs all seem to be connected by this advanced serpent religion. But how? Well, what Nidal had unearthed was the head of a Canaanite deity known as Anat. This entity is tenuously linked to a race of serpent beings often associated with creatures found in the Dead Sea Scrolls known as the Nephilim and the Anunnaki, and has connections to an entity mentioned in Quranic and biblical texts known as Baal, and even more closely to Astarte. Academics believe as a Canaanite entity, she could be a regional variant of Ishtar, a Mesopotamian deity who, according to Britannica, is a member of the Anunnaki. Now, whether you agree or not, one of the most popular modern theories in the internet age concerning the Anunnaki is that they are actually aliens. This recontextualizes the mystery surrounding Malta's hypogea, Constance Jessop's testimony, and the uncovering of a number of elongated skulls.
Okay, there's a famous carving of a bearded man holding what everybody thought was a cat, right? But it turned out to be a lion. Does anybody remember that carving? Let me find it. Hold up. Holding. Is this it? Yes, this is the infamous picture statue. Now, a lot of people thought that was a cat. No, how big they were. This is a lion, and he's holding a lion like we would hold a cat. Okay, all over the planet. This sculpture, all over the planet. Okay, that's a damn lion. Okay, that's a damn lion. Not the female, but the male. Okay, let's get back to it. Let's continue. Oh wait, did I share that? Oh, my bad. Okay. This here. This is all over the planet. That's a lion, not a cat. That's how big they were. Okay? That's how big they were. He's holding a lion like we would hold a cat. Okay? All right? All over the planet. All right. Now let's get back.
By Father Emmanuel Magri. For a period, Vittorio di Cesare was among the few scientists granted near-exclusive access by the Maltese to study the fragments of humanoid remains unearthed decades earlier by Father Magri. Setting aside a separate mystery concerning the disappearance of nearly 23,000 skeletal pieces, believed by some to be intentionally hidden by the museum, it is noteworthy that in a detailed report, Di Cesare mentions that among the 7,000 remaining fragments, the handful of elongated skulls discovered among them are inconsistent with those found worldwide. Typically, those Aboriginal communities and ancient tribes that practiced cranial deformation did not exhibit the same attributes as those found beneath Malta. De Cesare states that if the remains of the altered individuals were assembled into a complete skeletal form.
And here's where we go. So the saying goes, humans like to imitate their gods, right? Humans like to imitate their gods. And then at some point, humans want to replace their gods. Yes? Okay, let's go.
They'd have the look of a man with a reptile bearing, and that this morphological appearance, although natural, is attributed to their worship of the ancient entity Astarte. They were in essence her serpent priests. As an explanation for their deformed look, he first explains that Malta was a center for medicinal magic, based around the worship of this entity. Since, classically speaking, snakes have always been associated with the subterranean world, a hippodrome dedicated to this serpent goddess was the right place for a group defined as the serpent priests to exist. He adds that this tradition of the serpent priest originated in the Ubaid civilization, in what is now known as modern-day Kurdistan, but around 5000 BC. And this is where it gets both interesting and terrifying, especially if you don't like horror of the body kind. He states,
"Perhaps the skulls found in the Hypogeum and examined during our visit to Malta belonged indeed to these priests. As mentioned before, they present an accentuated..."
Wait. So let's do this. Okay, let me see. Perhaps the skulls found in the Hypogeum examined during our visit to Malta belong indeed to these priests. As mentioned before, they present an accentuated body part, which is particularly the center of our analysis. The long head and drawn features must have given a serpent-like appearance, stretching the eyes and skin. Lacking the lower part of the exhibit, we can only speculate, but the hypothesis can't be far from reality. Reality worsened by the fact that such deformity certainly
accentuated dolichocephalus, which is particularly the center of our analysis. The long head and drawn features must have given a serpent-like appearance, stretching the eyes and skin. Lacking the lower part of the exhibit, we can only speculate, but the hypothesis can't be far from reality. A reality worsened by the fact that such deformity certainly created walking problems.
Now, this is a concept art of what they think they look like. That's insane. All right.
Forcing him to slither. This must have certainly caused the man terrible agony since infancy, but probably enhanced visions that were considered as being proof of a bond with the goddess.
In other words, this extreme binding caused extensive physical deformations from head to toe, turning a regular human into something that looks like a lizard-shaped beast. The pain caused by this binding in turn gave these priests a transcendental or heightened sense of reality, allowing them to commune with this serpent deity. But Di Cesare's analysis doesn't end here. Even though he is not a fringe theorist, he raises questions that many believers in the arcane would also raise, like, were these serpent priests even from Malta? Others would suggest that these priests could be from an inner earth, outer space, or an entirely different reality altogether.
Now, take everything being presented with a huge grain of salt. Let me find. Hold up, I'm looking for something. That. Oh, every time I need to look for something. Snakes, 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 snakes. No, that's not it. Oh, damn it. I thought I had the for the cranial binding. I'll look it up later. I thought I had it. X out of that. Okay, wait. Nope. Okay. Oh, here we go. Yes. Cranial modification. Let me take a break real quick. Let's go here. Okay. Artificial cranial modification. Okay. This is in Eastern France. Eastern France. Let's see. This guy died 1,600 years ago. Her skull was heavily deformed, with the front flattened and the rear rising into a cone shape. Yeah, somebody said cone heads earlier. Saturday Night Live. That was a hilarious skit. Matter of fact, the Conehead movie, I remember the one daughter went out for the diving team, and the dive, the judge the dive by the form and the toes pointed and the execution of the routine, and then the amount of splash. The less splash you have, the higher your score. Remember in Coneheads, the daughter went out for the team and she did a routine and dope, and there was no splash. There was no fucking splash. Wait. Let's go find it. Cause I got time. Wait a minute. Conehead daughter. Yeah, Connie Conehead. That was her name. Conehead's daughter. Diving scene. Oh my gosh. This is it. This is so fucking funny, y'all. This is so funny. Wait, where's the
That concludes the 1 meter competition. Next will be the 3 meter board category. First diver for the home team, Connie Conehead.
You'll execute a 1.5 flip with a twist, and the head and the body enter the water with as little splash as possible. All right.
Ain't no damn splash. But that gets you the highest score. That gets you a high score. The amount of the amount of less splash, right? Okay. Let me get back. Let me get back to the cranial modification, and then we'll continue. All right. Okay. Okay. Front flattened and the rear rising into a cone shape. Okay. And this was an example of artificial cranial deformation, or in layman's practice, the altering the head's natural shape through force. Okay, let's see. Until the early 1900s, a form of artificial cranial deformation was still taking place in Western France. Okay, known as the Toulouse deformity. Now, Toulouse, France is popular with this. Okay. Okay, a baby's head. Oh, wait. Okay, known as the Toulouse deformity, the practice of bandeau was common amongst the French peasantry. A baby's head would be tightly bound and padded to protect it from accidental impacts. At the same time, the practice was still occurring in Russia and the Caucasus, as well as in Scandinavia. Okay. Turns out that altering the shape of one's head is not shockingly unique. It's incredibly common across time and geography. Okay. Originally, head flattening was instituted to distinguish certain groups or people from others and to indicate the social status of individuals. In Europe, the practice was most popular with the tribes that immigrated from the Caucasus region of Central Asia, like the Huns, Sarmatians, Avars, and the Alans. Okay. According to 2007 paper in the journal Neurosurgery, there does not seem to be any evidence of negative effect on the societies that have practiced even very severe forms of intentional cranial deformation. In Iraq, Kurdistan, near the borders with the Iran and Turkey, a cemetery from the Proto-Neolithic period was discovered in 1960. The site, called Shanidar Cave, dates back more than 10,000 years and contains the body of 35 individuals, including some of the first examples of intentional skull shaping. The Huns and Alans both seem to have originated in Central Asia, and as they pushed westward into the Roman Empire, their practice of head binding came with them and was adopted by some peoples living in Western and Central Europe. Okay. The earliest written reference we have of artificial cranial deformation comes from Hesiod, a Greek poet who lived between 750 and 650 BC. In his book of mythology, The Catalogues of Women, Hesiod referred to a tribe from either Africa or India called the Macrocephalae, which roughly translate to the big heads. Okay. Hippocrates mentions the macrocephali, but he got their techniques right rather than making the people mythological. He tells us their methods and their reasons. They think those that the most noble who have the longest heads after the child is born, and while its head is still tender, they fashion it with their hands and constrain it to assume a lengthened shape by applying bandages and other suitable contrivances. Okay. This ain't nothing new. Everywhere, every race, every society somehow wants to make their heads long, want to be a cone head. Okay. Across the Americas and various tribes, infants had their heads bound and shaped by their parents. Both the Mayans and the Inca shaped their children's skulls, as did the Choctaw and Chinookan tribes in what is now the United States. Okay. Class and religious significance. Let's see. Gonzalo Fernandez, a Spanish chronicler, he says, this is done because our ancestors were told by the gods that if our heads were thus formed, we should appear noble. Okay. Let's continue.
Furthermore, although De Cesare doesn't mention Iraq beyond it being a hub for the Serpent priests, and we are unsure if he mentions it elsewhere, we can't help but draw our own connections between Malta's skulls and the unsolved mystery surrounding the 20th century discovery of several 7,000-year-old artifacts which appear to represent humanoid figures with reptile features. Coincidentally, these figurines also date back to the Ubaid period, and till this day, academics and historians have yet to come to a consensus on their meaning. Could they possibly be miniature representations of these priests?
The Ubaid lizard men figurines, found in archaeological sites in southern Iraq, may have held religious or cultural significance, possibly representing deities or mythological beings worshipped at that time. Dated to around 4,500 BC, these two and others found at neighboring sites are known as lizard figurines due to their appearance.
Okay.
So to summarize.
Oh, let me stop there. Now, where have we seen? Oh, damn it. Let me stop. Hold up. Let me pull it back a tad bit. Now, we've seen this before. Who is that? Is that a Braxis? No, that's not a Braxis. No. Let me look. I got my notes. I came prepared today for class. You've seen this figure before. Here we go. You've seen this before. Yeah? Okay. You've seen this before. Half snake, half human. Nursing a child. A snake child of some sorts. Okay. You've seen this. Now, whether you believe it or not, okay, let's get back to it. Let's go.
Academics and historians have yet to come to a consensus on their meaning. Could they possibly be miniature representations of these priests?
The Ubaid lizard men figurines, found in archaeological sites in southern Iraq, may have held religious or cultural significance, possibly representing deities or mythological beings worshipped at that time. Dated to around 4500 BC, these two and others found at neighboring sites are known as lizard figurines due to their appearance.
So to summarize, it could be circumstantial and coincidental, but evidence of lizard-like hominids with elongated skulls connected to various pan-regional deities have been unearthed almost globally, all dating back to the Ubaid period. If so, how widespread was this snake cult? From the southern Mediterranean to ancient Mesopotamia, and even in ancient Egypt, how come still next to nothing is known about them, at least when compared to other ancient transcontinental belief systems? Even Astarte herself is a virtual unknown in the modern world. As an ancient Semitic deity associated with conflict and strife, Astarte is also believed to be a sibling of Anat, whose statue was recently discovered in Palestine, as mentioned earlier. According to some historians, these siblings may even be regional variations of the same entity and daughters of Baal, a notorious figure rightly or wrongly associated with child. Notably, when the statue of Anat was discovered, she bore a serpent crown.
I believe that was child offerings, but let's continue.
Solidifying her connection to such serpent beliefs and her sister's link to reptile worship. Before the arrival of Islam and the other Abrahamic traditions that demanded the belief in one God alone, Astarte was worshipped in various forms across the ancient Near East, including by the Phoenicians, Canaanites, and ancient Egyptians. Although there is a destructive side to her lore, she is also associated with reproduction and the creation of life. The question is, what kind of life? Human, lizard, or even a hybrid of both? The answer to that might be found in Jordan's Black Desert, but a more pressing question needs to be addressed first. Is it possible that, even if stories concerning direct contact with ancient subterranean giants are not true, there may still be an ancient serpent cult active in the Mediterranean in the 20th and 21st century?
I'll take it one further. It's still active everywhere. Don't worry. We're going to get to it.
Could this cult be responsible not only for the alleged disappearance of an entire elementary school class, but also other mysterious events that have occurred across Malta in the decades since? In this next chapter, before delving into the Black Desert's mystery and its connection to Malta and Palestine's ancient serpent deities, we must approach a modern-day mystery with extra sensitivity due to its ongoing investigation. The relatives and friends of the deceased we will mention are still seeking closure. In July 2016, 17-year-old Mike Mansholt, a tourist from Germany, vanished after setting out to explore the catacombs of Rabat in Malta, also known as the Realm of the Dead, located 5 miles from the hypogeum. Unfortunately, about a week after Mike's initial disappearance, his remains were discovered near the highest point of the island under very strange circumstances, with most of his internal organs seemingly removed. German forensic experts suspect foul play, while Maltese authorities deny any criminal activity. However, according to ancient origins, there may be links between Mansholt and the missing elementary school children from decades earlier. The ritualistic condition of his remains is extremely noteworthy. While some point their fingers at wild animals and insects as the cause for its condition, while others blame a global market that steals and distributes the insides of people, given Malta's history and the dark past haunting its catacombs, be it real or fictional, we must consider a hypothetical link between the way Mansholt was discovered and dark practices found in ancient Canaanite and Carthaginian cultures. Some historians believe the young were offered to the idol Baal through burning, which admittedly is vastly different from organ removal. However, what matters here is how modern people may choose to reenact ancient practices. In the modern age, Baal and even his daughters have been linked to such practices. Dr. Josephine Quinn, a researcher and faculty member of Oxford, has established that sacrifices occurred on Malta. Her research links the islands with the Carthaginians, who in turn are linked to the Phoenicians, originating from the Canaanites. Furthermore, Andrew Cross of the Hebrew University in Jerusalem published a paper referencing...
Okay. I've said it time and time again. There's no time in history, human history, where they haven't did things to women and children. This really is nothing new. It just goes to show how far and expansive humans. There's going to be some offerings. Wherever there's humans, going to be some offerings. I don't know what society does not have the youth in high regard when it comes to using their bodies and sucking the spirits out of them and whatever the case may be. Like, this should be nothing new to anybody at this point. Right? You shouldn't be like, oh, And we're past all that. Let's continue.
A Phoenician translation into Latin of a stone slab from Carthaginian Malta that speaks of performing ritualized blood letting in the dark, implying that such dark activities were literally performed in dark locations underground. Here, Andrew Cross also identifies the name of Baal's consort, an entity called Tanit. This being was known by a variety of names across many regions, the oldest name being Astarte. Cross states that this deity was associated with fertility, as we have already mentioned, and were chthonic, meaning they belonged to the underworld. Ancient Origins, using Quinn and Cross as context for Mansholt's case, states that the island was likely a hub for mass ritualized offerings. Sometimes, underground pipes or channels above ground were constructed to funnel sacrificial blood to these underworld deities, like Astarte. Ergo, not all rituals to these beings demanded fire. Now, while linking the Mansholt case with ancient Canaanite and Carthaginian occultism might be a stretch due to the ritual inconsistencies mentioned, the proximity between the catacombs of Rabat and the Saflieni hypogeum may not be entirely coincidental, given that underground tunnels are believed to run the entire length of Malta.
Okay, I want to jump ahead because there's a part when they mentioned something that I took interest in.
Individuals who are biologically and socially above the rest of humanity, in addition to shape-shifting celebrities, politicians, and top business people. Pop theorists and brands like the History Channel have championed variations of this idea, sometimes to detrimental effect. This brings us to Jordan's Black Desert. In a couple of earlier episodes, we discussed global groups and organizations connected to snakes, or that have employed snake symbology in their iconography, like the vast Brotherhood of the Snake. Links to those episodes can be found in the description box.
Okay, I'm glad he said that. 3 years ago, I touched on that. I even gave you imagery of what the Brotherhood of the Snake is. And it was in a pretty popular movie. Some of you caught it, some of y'all didn't catch it, but I'm gonna do y'all solid. We're gonna spin the block back on the Brotherhood of the Snake. Oh, what is that there? That is the symbol for the Brotherhood of the Snake. Don't believe me? That's fine. That's fine. All right. Look familiar? Yes. Look familiar? Yes. Yes. Look familiar now? Okay. All over the globe, even till this day. I mean, Tulsa Doom, right? Conan, played by James Earl Jones. What did he end up doing towards the end? Turn into a damn snake at some point in the movie, yeah? Remember that? Okay. Now, I think I'm done with this video. I don't know. Let me see what else they're talking about. And then I'm going to get to my notes and we're going to wrap this bad boy up. Oh, I think it said lost audio. Hold up. Let me find some. I think I lost audio. Hold up. Let me fix it. Restart the browser. No, I don't want to restart that. I don't want to restart that. Let me know if the audio is still good. Because I don't want to keep going if the audio is not, if it's not there. So I think we should be good. Okay, let's continue. No audio. Ah, damn it. Okay. Never mind. All right. I'm done with that video anyway. That's cool. I'm done with that. Okay. That's okay. Let's continue with the lesson. That's okay. But once again, I just want to... Okay, wait. Screen share. Once again, this came out. John Wick 2 came out in what? 6 years ago. So the snake, the serpent society, snake culture is very much alive and thriving. Now it's okay to kind of put it out there for y'all. I think they're ready for y'all to kind of digest, the the stage 2 baby food. Like we're moving from baby food, now we're getting to solids. Your first piece of meat, your first piece of potatoes, your first big carrot. You know what I'm saying? I think they're ready for y'all to get this. Okay, let's continue. Okay. All right. Let me see now. Let me close out some of these tabs. I got a lot of tabs open, y'all. It's stupid amount of tabs. That. Okay, we got that. Okay. Isn't this okay? Let me go to here. Isn't this Ishtar? Or no, is it Ishtar? I'm not sure. Let me show. What deity is this? Oh, Asherah. Asherah. This is Asherah. Right? This is the goddess Asherah. She got the snakes in both hands. Yes? This is Asherah. Okay. Let's go to India. India, infamous for serpent worship. I mean, my goodness. Where do we begin? You want to go with Lord Shiva? Let's look up how many all they got. All right. Hinduism, snake gods includes Shesha, Vasuki, Nagaraja, Kundalini. All right. I mean, seven deities that I worship, snake deities. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, let's look at it. This is 2024. This is July. Oh, this is last week. Last month. Okay. All right. 7 snake deities that are worshipped in India and why? Okay. 2 of the 3 creators of the universe, Shiva and Vishnu. Who was that? Nick, who did the Manhattan Project? I become Vishnu, a destroyer of worlds, after he realized a mistake he made in creating the atom bomb. Right? Okay. Snakes are revered in India as divine figures. Okay. Anat Shisha, the infinite one, is Naga. Fucking muted me, man. Fuck. God damn it. Oh, I hate StreamYard. Oh, I'm sorry. How bad did what did y'all not hear? I'm sorry. I'm back. Fucking StreamYard, man. All right. How far back? How far back did I how far back? How far back? How far back? We heard nothing. Are you serious right now? Okay, well, in 3 minutes. Okay, so the seven deities of snake worship in India. Did y'all catch that or no? Okay, let's do that. 7 deities. Hold up. 7 snake. I think I was talking about India. Okay. Let me run it back. Okay, share this tab instead. Okay. This is where we left off at. We talk about Vashkuli. Okay. Cool. All right. Okay. Please go back to OBS, man. I know. Look, I got a monitor, but I had to order a converter because it's DP import to HDMI. So I ordered a converter. So I got my monitor. I'll be playing with you OBS. Oh, she said all the way back. God damn it. Hey, Vashkuli. Okay, but this is where we at though, right? 7 snake deities. Okay. I think we're good. This nigga called me Charlie Brown. Let me hold. What the F ever? You come run the show. Everybody got an opinion. Okay. We good? Let me check the comments and make sure we good. Okay, we good. All right, let's continue. All right. 7 snake deities that are worshipped in India to this day. Okay? To this day. 2 of the 3 creators of the universe, Shiva and Vishnu. Okay, Vishnu, who was it? Manhattan Project, Nick. He had the speech about I become a destroyer of worlds after he realized the devastating power that he created with the atom bomb. Right? Have symbols of snakes attached to them. Okay. Lord Shiva wears Vasuki as a decoration around his neck. Lord Vishnu rests on the Sheshnag. Okay. Snakes are revered in India as divine figures. Okay. Number 2, Anat Shisha. Anat Shisha is the king of the Naga, the snake race. Sheshnaga holds all the planets of the universe on his vast hoods. There are the hoods there. Okay. It is said that when Adashisha uncoils, time starts to move forward and creation starts to take place. And when it comes back to the coiled position, time stops and the universe ceases to exist. Okay, Vasuki is this little guy here. This is who Lord Shiva wears around his neck. Okay. Vasuki, divine serpent coiled around the neck of Shiva. Vasuki is one of the snakes that consumed Halala as he was tied to the Mandara mountain as a rope for churning. Seeing his dedication, Lord Shiva decided to wear Vasuki around his neck. Okay. Karkataka, okay, took residence to protect the city from evil energies. Most people would consider a snake evil energy. Okay. Takshaka, regarded as the friend of Lord Indra. Kalia, a venomous naga living in the Yamuna River. They said the water around was always boiling and bubbling with poison. Okay. Manasa. Manasa is the Hindu goddess of snakes. She is mainly worshipped mainly in northern India for prevention and protection from snake bite and for fertility and prosperity. Gulika. one of the 7 divine serpents who decorate the Garuda. Okay, it is considered the guardian of medicinal herbs and plants. It is related to healing and knowledge of antidotes. Okay. Now, where was I at? Okay, make sure we're still good. Yes, Oppenheimer. Phenomenal movie. Still a good movie. Okay. All right. Now let's continue. Let's continue. Okay, got rid of Asherah. Got rid of that 7 deities. Oh, yes. Ohio. Yes, here in the Americas. Ohio. The Serpent Mound. This is what it looks like from the aerial view. So even here in the Americas, the Serpent Society is alive and thriving. Yes? The Serpent Mound in Ohio. Okay. That. Now, Christians. I'm on y'all's neck. Christians. Y'all like to play with snakes in church. Yes? You Christians. You know, we used to watch the videos of the white folk in church and they would be playing with the snakes and shit. Christians. Talking about, I don't fear the snake bite. I'm immune to the poison. That's right. Shout out to Fatal J with the 3-point shot from nowhere, from 40 feet out. That's right. They're called the Serpent Society in the Captain America Brave and the Brave New World. Thank you, Fatal J, for that. Hydra. So let's get to these Christians that like to play with snakes. Yeah? Let's go take a look. Let's see what they talking about. Appalachia. This is where's Mojo at? I need Mojo for this.
This is the 26th episode of my Exploring Appalachia series. I'm Josh, and welcome to Mountain Roots.
Now let's get to the snakes, bro.
It is true that snake handling as part of a religious practice or act of faith began to be popularized in Tennessee during the early 1900s by an illiterate moonshiner turned revivalist named George Hensley. He interpreted the biblical text of Mark chapter 16 that reads, "They shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them," as a requirement to prove or show one's faith in God. Hensley would later die at age 74 from a venomous snake bite during a snake handling service, and a local county judge would rule his death as a suicide. As I make my way to the infamous snake handling church, it's worth noting that most Pentecostals have denounced Hensley's interpretation of Scripture regarding snake and serpent handling. It's still practiced by some, usually far from the gaze of other Christians and law enforcement. Heck, some will even drink a bitter poison called strychnine as an additional show of their faith. Ironically, 6 Appalachian states, including Tennessee, where the practice originated, have outlawed religious snake handling on a variety of grounds. But then again, these laws of men are merely ignored when it comes to religious zeal.
Well, isn't that like suppression of one's religious freedoms? I don't know. I'm asking. Let's get to it. Come on.
Rattlesnakes arose in an era of the holiness movement of the late 1800s. That's when Methodists, Anabaptists, Presbyterians, and Quakers were demonstrating their devotion to God by avoiding
he ain't showing. I want to see them in action. Let's go.
Just weeks ago, Mac Wolford, a renowned Pentecostal serpent handler, died after suffering a bite from one of the snakes that he used to show his devotion to God. Wolford's death sent shockwaves through the Appalachian congregations committed to carrying on this practice. The faithful continue to handle venomous snakes on a regular basis. Gary Tuckman reports.
This church in the heart of Appalachia is completely quiet just before the service begins, except for the creature inside this locked box. It's a rattlesnake, and it's rattling. It's one of 7 deadly snakes, about to be used in a wild ceremony in God's name. This is Pastor Andrew Hamblin. He's a 21-year-old serpent-handling pastor at the Tabernacle Church of God in La Follette, Tennessee. He, his wife, and the rest of this congregation practice Christianity much differently than almost all other Christians, using venomous snakes as part of their service. Why? They point to the New Testament, the Gospel of Mark, chapter 16, verse 18. It's stated in part, "They shall take up serpents." Believers like Pastor Hamblin say when God anoints them, they have an obligation to do this, and that God will protect them.
But I thought serpents were bad. I thought it said, but serpent, let's continue.
And even if they are bitten, their belief is God will heal them. No doctors necessary. If it looks dangerous, that's because it is. It's also illegal in the state of Tennessee. But that only strengthens the pastor's conviction. Snake handling in churches is a tradition in decline, but Hamblin wants that to change.
It's against the law to have snakes in a church in Tennessee. Does that concern you? No, sir, it don't. Now, if someone was to get bit and die, I know the authorities would come in on us and probably shut us down. But that's why I stress so much to my people to, make sure. But now, if it's their appointed time to die, there's nothing I can do to prevent it.
This is not a con game. These snakes are poisonous. They can't kill.
He said, if it's your time to die, that's your time. That's real shit.
Just a few weeks ago, the pastor of this church in the remote West Virginia town of Matoka was bitten by one of his rattlesnakes during a service. Pastor Mac Walford initially refused medical care, but as he got seriously ill, he gave his permission to go to a hospital. But it was too late. He died the same day. The pastor's father died the same way 3 decades earlier.
Wow.
Pastor Walford died 2 days after his 44th birthday. Outsiders were not invited to the funeral. But perhaps it's not surprising that the funeral home tells us snakes were part of the graveside ceremony.
What?
I mean, to give him time. I mean, it could turn around and bite me. But like I said, the Lord, either he'll let it bite or he won't let it bite. He'll let it hurt or he won't let it hurt. It's all to God.
Roy Lee Christian Jr. is the assistant pastor at another church in West Virginia, the Church of the Lord Jesus in the town of Jolo. He was at the service where his friend, Pastor Walford, was fatally bitten. He's shocked and saddened, but his faith remains the same. It says they shall take up serpents. That doesn't mean you have to, does it? Is that your interpretation that you must take up serpents?
Well, if you believe the word of God strong enough and you really believe it, and the Lord moves on you, you'll do it.
Back in Tennessee, the 21-year-old pastor says he's been bitten 4 times in 2 years.
Oh.
He says he almost died after the first bite, and says he's prepared to lose his life from a snake bite if God determines that's how he should go.
I realize that, and I've thought about it. I've really thought about it, but that's why it pays to be ready spiritually.
Yo, if standing on business were a young man, I don't agree with it, but I respect it though. He is about it. Let's continue.
The verse from the New Testament states that faith quenched the violence of fire. So that's why this test of faith happens at many of these services. This is called handling fire. People burning their hands, arms, and other body parts with flames shooting out of bottles.
Are you ever worried that seeing people burn themselves in the snakes will frighten your children?
No, not really.
How come?
When God's in it, they ain't no harm in it.
He said, when God's in it, ain't no harm in it. She said, when God's in it, ain't no harm in it. Shout out to ARC.
That ain't fucking logic. God damn it. God damn, you think we're stupid. Okay, you stupid. Okay?
Let's continue.
This woman had been crying during much of the service, the pastor saying she had been going through some emotional difficulties. She then took to the altar, grabbing a rattlesnake and shaking it with abandon, almost daring the serpent to sink its teeth into her skin. To us, it looked like she had no idea about the personal risk. Pastor Hamlin, though, claims God had anointed her to handle this deadly serpent.
I'll stand before Christ Jesus, and I'll be judged according to my works on this earth.
The people we talked to at this church know what happened to Pastor Walford in West Virginia, but that risk won't stop them from coming back to this church, looking for salvation in ways both unusual and illegal. Gary Tuckman, CNN, La Follette, Tennessee.
Dare I say, these Caucasian folk got more faith in their church and they. Wow, let's continue. Let's get snake worship, serpent society. You cannot tell me anything.
Chris is getting ready for his Sunday service. As pastor of House of the Lord Jesus Church in West Virginia, he's bringing this rattlesnake in a custom-made box in case he or any of the congregants feel they should handle it as proof of their faith.
Now we don't believe that they won't bite us. We know every time we go in a box that there may be a chance that we may get bit and that we may die. But see, he put when I got saved, when I got in this, he put something in me that to live is God, and to die is for God.
Serpent handling Christians believe taking up snakes, as well as drinking rat poison and applying flames to themselves, is something the Bible commands them to do.
Holy
from a passage
cow.
in the Gospel of Mark.
The act of taking up serpents is not something that is endorsed by any denomination, and the sort of mainstream holiness Pentecostal movement very much distance itself from this kind of activities.
There are an estimated 125 serpent handling churches remaining, mostly in southern Appalachia. But data is hard to come by. This community tends to be secretive, facing ridicule and prejudice for their faith.
Because of my background, because I'm associated with this, people start drifting away from you. They start pushing you out. They don't want you, no matter what else you do or what kind of heart that you show or how much you do in the community.
Jason has come from North Carolina to attend the service, as this dangerous practice is illegal in every state apart from West Virginia. The current pastor, Chris, lost both his father and brother, also pastors, to snake bites.
My brother, my best friend, my pastor, everything. And he began to tell me, Chris, I want you to take over when I'm dead and gone. I told him I would. I also didn't know it was going to be that soon.
The movement is currently in decline, but has waxed and waned over its 100-year history. The tradition is mostly passed down from one generation to the next, so is likely to continue for many years to come.
Wow. Man, listen, Appalachia getting it cracking. Getting it cracking. Okay. Let me let me not get sidetracked. All right. Let's see. Abraxas. Abraxas is another serpent character tied to the Knights Templars. Okay. The Knights Templars used to use this particular seal. Okay, where is it at? Screen share. Abraxas, a man with 2 legs for snakes, tied to the Knights Templars. Yes. After Friday the 13th, 1307, they fled to Scotland. I believe it gave birth to the Scottish Rite. That's just my opinion. I'm sure at some point they'll educate me, but no, that's not exactly what happened. But okay. Abraxas. All right. A man with 2 legs for snakes. Yes. Okay, let's see. This also is Abraxas. I misspelled it. Abraxas. All right. The Catholic Church later deemed Abraxas a pagan god and ultimately branded him a demon. Okay. Abraxas is labeled the supreme god of the Basilidians, whom he describes as the heretics of the 2nd century. Okay. His name translates to God Almighty. The name Abraxas translates to God Almighty. Okay, let's continue. This here is a PDF file. It's pretty long. I'm not going to hit y'all over the head with this, but basically serpent worship. Okay, and I don't know if you want this, email me and I'll send it to you. It's a pretty lengthy read. You know what I'm saying? I would say you just read a little bit a day or whatever. Okay. Isis, once again, we're going back to Egyptology, all the Hoteps. Isis, she had a nickname, Lady of the Holy Cobra. Okay. Isis had a nickname, Lady of the Holy Cobra. Did y'all know that? Did the Hotepers tell you that was her nickname? Lady of the Holy Cobra. Okay. It's a lot to take in. I'm not going to hit y'all, keep bombarding y'all with all this. It's a lot. I got a couple more and I'm gonna let you go. Let's go. Okay, so let me get rid of Serpent Mound. Let me get rid of Appalachia. Okay, wait. Okay, let me get rid of Abraxas. Serpent Worship. Okay. The Lady of the Holy Cobra. All right. Let's see. 12 cobras blast their fiery breaths to illuminate the paths of the other world for the deceased. In other texts, huge cobras are seen spitting poison in the faces of enemies of the deceased. The Uraeus cobras are usually goddesses, which, like the Hindu Shakti, are the active powers of the male deity on whose forehead they often sit. Right? Because they would have their head pieces and the snake would be out in front. Yeah. Okay, although both Egyptian goddesses and gods wore cobras as part of their headdresses, the goddesses have a cobra form. In fact, the cobra hieroglyph was often used as a determinative when writing the names of goddesses or priestesses, and showing a cobra within a small enclosure could indicate the shrine of a goddess. Okay, cobra goddesses are numerous in Egypt. The most prominent is Wajet, the green one. She is the tutelary deity of Lower Egypt and one of the 2 ladies who represent the 2 lands of Egypt. The harvest goddess. Okay. As a fiery and protective goddess, Isis also takes the form of a cobra. Sometimes she is the Eye of Re. The cobra forms solar power of the god. Sometimes she is a Nephthys or Nephthys are shown as two cobras and replace Wajet and Nekhebet as the two ladies of Egypt. Cobras are commonly found on the Isis's headdress, while in Greece and Italy, Isis could be shown holding a cobra or a cobra wrapped about her arm. Okay. Let's move on. Let's see, not that. I want that? No, I don't want that. I don't care about this. Okay. Real quick. So another snake-related Bible verse. And the Lord said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent and set it upon a pole, and it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live. And Moses made a serpent of brass and put it upon a pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he lived. But I thought snakes were bad. Which one is it? I thought snakes were bad. Okay. I'm almost done. Where is it at? Okay. The Order of the Knights of the Creeping Serpent. The Knights of the Creeping Serpent. There's a lot of conjecture around this group of Masons. Now, from what I remember, they were kicked out of California, not in good standing. But some dispute that. I can't find information to confirm either they're in good standing or bad standing. Let's see. Now they already saying in this thread, be nice, right? This is back in 2011. Let's see. Okay. They're called the Snakes, right? They're known to have hazed members, threatened other Masons' families physically, and were guilty of embezzlement. That's why they were banned out here in California and were attempted to be smoked out. And he comes back again and says, let's see. So do have firsthand experience with the Snakes. The organization is not now and has never been recognized as a social club by the California Masonic community. This group is a subversive in nature and is attempting to usurp the authority of the Grand Lodge of California. All Masons in California were asked in 2007 to sign a form stating that they were not involved with the Snakes if they were to join the officers' line of any lodge they were affiliated with. At the 2010 Grand Lodge communications, they were stated in open forum that any Mason found to be affiliated with the Snakes would have had his Masonic membership removed from all bodies that he was affiliated with, and he would be expulsed from Masonry in California completely. Take it all with a grain of salt. Let's see. The Snakes started in the Filipino Lodge in California around 2004, 2005, and each year after that, they were a topic of discussion at annual communications. And at other times, in 2008, Grandmaster Whitfield and Grand Lodge denounced them because they were putting on other ritual degrees and were hazing the candidates. 2009, the Snakes met the Grand Master and promised to discontinue conferring of the degrees and wanted to be known as a social order. They were granted that recognition. Unfortunately, they didn't stay true to their promises. They continued to perform their rituals at private residences and other places. Today, Grandmaster John F. Lowe made it abundantly clear that the Snakes are not to be recognized and Masons in good standing are not to associate with them. Any Mason who is a member must demit from them immediately, or there will be Masonic charge filed on them for un-Masonic conduct. Learn something new every day. And this is more of the Knights of the Creeping Serpent. Okay. Genesis of the Grand and Glorious Order of the Knights of the Creeping Serpent started in 1960 when it was organized by Freemasons at Oriental Lodge number 20 in California, and went to Yuma the same year, and it was organized with the assistance of several prominent Freemasons in Phoenix. Okay. The order spread its noble cause to the Philippines on May 1st, 2001, when Alpha class with 13 members was conferred. Afterwards, an election was held. Okay, so their first president was given the title of Royal King Cobra. Interesting. To date, the order has more than 500 proud members who are bound together by brotherly love, friendship, and within the spirit of charity, promising to continuously adhere to the fraternal cause and support to the community, keeping always in mind that all seeing eye is always upon them to guide and support them in all their endeavors, and its existence shall not falter for as long as all the members are united in harmony with filial love in their hearts. When was this? It doesn't say. Oh, this is this year, 2024. Okay, so they're still out here active. They're still active, son. Let's continue. Let's continue. Oh, here's a good story. President Theodore Roosevelt. Where's the story at? Oh, okay. All right. Little known fact here. Okay, Rosie became a Mason in 1901. Let's see. Last interview before he died in 1909. I violate no secret when I say that one of the greatest values in Masonry is that it affords an opportunity for men in all walks of life to meet on common ground, where for the time all men are equal and have one common interest. For example, when I was president, master of my lodge was worshipful brother Doherty. He was a gardener on the estate of one of my neighbors and a most excellent public-spirited citizen with whom I like to maintain contact. A gardener at one point outranked Teddy Roosevelt. Says, clearly I could not call upon him socially when I came home. It would have embarrassed him. Neither could he, without embarrassment, call on me. In the lodge, it was different. He was over me, though I was president, and it was good for him and good for me. This is the way to make people work together. Get them on common ground. Get them together through some common interest in common. Their social lines fade out, and you get results. Oh shit! My bad. This is what I'm talking about. Did anybody know this story? The gardener outranked a former president during his presidency. Did anybody know this story? I did not. Okay, is there anything else? I got anything else for y'all? Anything else in the mag? No. I think that's it. All right, mag is empty. Serpent Society. It's all around us. It's alive and thriving, growing. Some of y'all run around here got reptilian DNA right now, and I'm not here to judge. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. Did I miss anything? No? Yes? All right, once again, I appreciate those that came in. They didn't blow a complete head gasket. I didn't see the term Sly's a blasphemer, or I didn't see any negative terms associated with me because of my difference of opinion. So that's always a good thing. Once again, each one teach. Oh, you know what, George? You said the serpent worship in Senegal. Let's take a look at that. Hold up. Let's serpent worship Senegal. Let me see. Okay. One last thing we'll take a look at, and then we'll get out of here. Listen, girl. I'm talking some evil stuff. You know how I do. Yes, I am a blasphemer. Blasphemer. I am a blasphemer. All right, serpent worship Senegal. The Ser people of Senegal, the Gambia, and the Mauritania have a tradition, creation myth that includes snakes. Okay. All right. Some seers believe these stories are sacred. The seer have many gods, goddesses, and pangul, which are ancestral spirits and saints that are represented by snakes. Interesting. Let's take a look. Oh, Benin has Python temple. Oh, interesting. Oh, let's take a look. Okay, let's go look.
एक बारी इन्हें खुला छोड़ देते हैं कि भी जाओ तुम शिकार करके आओ और ये शहर में घूमते हैं सांप सारे 3 महीने का बच्चा होने पे उसके मुंह पे 10 मार्क्स लगाए जाते हैं 2 2 4 6 8 और 2 यहाँ 10 और ढस गया इस बच्चे के चेहरे पे आप स्कारिफिकेशन देख सकते हो और ये देखो किस तरह लिपट के बैठा है इसके
Okay, we can pick up on it. We're not slow. Visiting the sacred Python temple of Ouida, Benin. Okay.
दोस्तों स्वागत है आप सभी का एक नई वीडियो से वेस्ट अफ्रीका की एक कंट्री बेनिन जो कि अटलांटिक ओशन की कोस्ट पर पड़ती है उसकी सबसे बड़ी सिटी कैपिटल तो इसकी पोर्ट नौ है लेकिन दे फैक्टो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कैपिटल देखा जाए
you don't put it in that language.
इकोनॉमिक कैपिटल देखा जाए तो वो कुतरू है जिधर अपन अभी फिलहाल है
Let's just see the snakes, man. Let's see the Africans with the snakes.
यहाँ पे स्टार्ट किया अपन reason why everyone is supposed to wash their hands before you go and touch
Exactly. Okay, English, all right.
In or before you touch the
pythons.
You
need to
gotta wash your hands before you touch the python.
Again, have your water, then with a leaf inside.
Okay.
That's it for purification.
Yeah.
Again, you got to wash your hands because exactly as you say.
ये भाई इरोको ट्री जो ये मानते हैं कि 400 साल से ज्यादा पुराना है हम जस्ट अभी पाइथन टेंपल में एंटर कर उधर से एंट्रेंस लिया हमने 400 साल से ज्यादा पुराना इसे माना जाता है और कहते हैं कि हर तीसरे दिन शायद every 3 days there's an offering. तो भाई इनके पूर्वजों की पूजा की जाती है इस पेड़ के सामने और हर तीसरे दिन और ऑफरिंग्स दी जाती है ठीक है अब उस टाइम अंदर पाइथन टेंपल में जाके देखते हैं पाइथन इधर एंटर करने के ना इन्होंने लियम से 3000 सेफा
Okay, come on, let's get the snakes, bro.
ये जो जगह है इधर
We're here for the snakes.
या फिर तरह-तरह के रूल्स होते हैं इधर भी ये जो
We're here for the snakes.
वीदा एरिया के जो लोग हैं 3 महीने का चूहे वगैरह होते थे उन्हें पाइथन मार के खा जाते थे इनके क्रॉप्स को बचा
You know how I'm so American that I'm offended this is not in English. Americans are hella entitled. I'm offended this is not in English. Like, cater to me. It's like an immigrant, don't I? Like, speak my language.
ताकि पैदावार ज्यादा हो ये लोग पाइथन की पूजा शुरू करनी
Okay, come on.
So swallows like it's constrictor.
Okay.
You know constrictors they swallow.
Yeah.
They wrap it around their
Yeah.
and swallow.
तो ये है भाई पाइथन और एनिमिलिया
Wait. When y'all go to when y'all go to Florida, Black Biker Week. Come on, man. Y'all don't see black folk out there with snakes around their necks. When y'all go to Daytona Beach, Black Biker Week and Daytona, whatever the fuck they be going. Y'all don't see black folk out there with snakes around their necks. Serpent Society. Let's continue.
तो भाई बहुत ही पवित्र माना जाता है इन्हें और ये आप देख सकते हो हैं
It's a lie. So it's just
Right? All the women be like, yeah, I got a baby ball python. I got a ball python. They want to go to the damn PetSmart and go buy a ball python. They say ball pythons very easy temperament, easy to take care of, least likely to bite you, right? Serpent Society. Why is everybody acting brand new with this?
I think it's active. Yeah.
It does. तो ये ना दरअसल क्या करते हैं ये खाते हैं चूहे को ना लेकिन
Okay. Let's go inside it. Let's go inside.
पहले ले नहीं रहे थे मनीष भाई हमने बना लिया
Oh.
इस कमरे में बोलते हैं ये 50 पाइथन तक रहते हैं How many pythons are there right now? 50.
50.
अच्छा इधर भी है भाई
Oh no.
ये देखो भाई जगह कैसे सांप पूरे मंदिर में भाई देखो जमीन में कितने सारे पाइथन पड़े हुए सांप पड़े हुए देखना
No sir.
मेरे 50 है 50 तो नहीं लग रहे मेरे को यार ये
Yeah, HBCU homecoming.
और ये देखो किस तरह निपट के बैठा है इसके चेहरे के सारी इकट्ठे अच्छा गर्म नहीं होगी
He said Kamala's nephew.
When it's winters, do the snakes go underground to hibernate? There's no winter. Okay, yeah. तो जैसा मैं पूछ रहा था कि snakes तो cold blooded होते हैं, सर्दियों में कहाँ जाते हैं? Hibernate करते हैं generally. तो फिर मेरे याद आया और इन्होंने बताया भी सर्दियाँ तो पड़ती नहीं इस पार्ट में, हमेशा weather ऐसा ही रहता है, गर्मी रहती है, coastal region है यार, और humidity रहती है, गर्मी रहती है, sunny रहता है.
You know what? Let's do this. All right, let me get out of here. I promise.
मतलब मंदिर इतना ही है, ज़्यादा बड़ा नहीं है. अंदर ये टेंपल था, उधर स्पिरिट की पूजा होती है. ये प्रीस्ट के लिए देखो, ये जितने भी लोग थे ना, अभी आगे जो गए, इनके मुंह पे 10-10 स्टार बने हैं. वो पीछे होता है भाई प्योरिफिकेशन, इधर ये मार्केट्स है.
Okay.
ये मास्क वगैरह.
That is the, what's it called? The Sacred Python Temple of Ouida in Benin. All right. Let's go look at some yeah, let's look at black people. Yeah, I'm going there. Black people wearing snakes. Give me the videos. Give me videos. Are there black folk? No. Okay, let's do this. Black biker week with snakes. Yeah. When black people see a snake. Okay, let's check this out. Black bike. Oh yeah. Okay, this is interesting. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay, wait. I found some. Once again, Serpent Society. We take part in it, whether we realize it or not. That's a black that's an urban person.
I don't give a fuck what it is. Where you at? In there. Get him out.
It was in his motorcycle. Oh, okay. They trying to get rid of it. Okay, let's do this. Black Bike Week. Let's see. We're gonna see some snakes here. Arizona Bike Week is very different. Let's see.
Welcome to Cave Creek Bike Week.
Can you say that again? Yeah, look at all the fucking bikes down the street.
No, I want to see black folk. I'm sorry. No, thank you. I'm looking for black people with snakes. I'm looking for black people with snakes. No. Yes.
You haven't met the apes. Stop.
I mean, we've seen them. It's just so random. When you see it, you don't even look at it. Like, you don't even think about it. But yeah, there's plenty of every time, biker weekends or spring break, it'd be some black folks with snakes around their necks. It was somebody at Freaknik at a video, snake around his neck. Ah, shit. It's not going to show it to me. Hey. Okay, I'm over it. All right, I'm out of here. Ninjas and snakes, pretty much. We don't go. Hey, thank y'all for coming through. Hopefully some of y'all, I'm already, whatever, I'm prepared for the after talk, when I end this. But I'll leave it up for anyone that wants to, whatever, for whatever reason. So with that being said, thank y'all. Y'all have a good night. Peace.